بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. Before we start, obviously some of you already know it's going to be some theory, but majority of the thing, hopefully, I want to make it to a practical, basically. Yeah. Unfortunately, before we start, I have to sort of a disclaimer. Okay. If you use any of these techniques I teach you tonight, okay, and you get negative results, or you get results which you're not happy with, or an outcome which you're not happy with, I'm not to blame, okay, basically, or a masjid, for instance, okay, that's why I'm doing this talk, and we basically free ourselves from any of the negative results you get, okay, so because this talk basically is just ruqya on yourself. We don't take these techniques and start doing on other people. No, this talk is not about that, because the best ruqya is the one which you do on yourself. And the evidence for this is in the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الناس. So the best ruqya is the one for you do yourself. Okay. So unfortunately I had to say that. The reason I had to say that because I've had cases where we help the person out with some ruqya and stuff, and next thing they say, oh, you changed my, they blame you for these problems they're having. You see, and when you say to them, look, that's just part of the treatment. The jinn are just playing around with you, trying to make it intense, so you leave ruqya. Oh, I'm going to leave. I think I was better before the ruqya. No, you were better. You were better before the ruqya. You were better. You're better now doing the ruqya. Don't go back to not doing any ruqya. Ruqya is not giving you the problem. The problem is not doing the ruqya. That's the problem, you know. And before you do any of this, my advice to you would be, once you see what I do istikhara and say, Allah, I'm going to see what I've got, if I've got anything. I don't know if I've got some problems in my life, I don't know what I've got. I want to see if I've got anything, yeah? Especially ayn. There's a lot of ayn around, but people don't know they've got ayn, yeah? And even if you've been to someone before, you know.
Can you just translate for the brothers?
Ayn is evil eye, yeah? So it's important for you to check yourself out for ayn, because there's a lot of it around. Okay, there's a lot of it around. One of the reasons why I'm doing this talk is that because there's just too many cases, basically. And there's not enough people to do the ruqya on people. Okay? So inshallah ta'ala, I'm hoping that you learn something from this and that you'll be able to treat yourselves and show maybe your friends and family the same techniques, and they say, look, see if you are got something, and then we will know. Inshallah ta'ala. So I'm going to show you how to diagnose yourself practically, and also how to, inshallah ta'ala, to treat yourself. And what I'm going to be basically, I'm not going to be able to get into too many examples of why you doing it like this, why you doing it like this, because there's a lot of research and a lot of experience from me treating myself, which alhamdulillah cured me from the sihr, and also treating other people and see what happens to them. Okay, that works like that, okay, we'll do that next time, okay, we'll do this. But I can't go into those reasons, because some people ask me, why are you doing it? There's maybe not enough time to get through all of that, because we've got to finish by about Maghrib time, yeah? Okay. Okay, the first thing before we get into the practical part is we must believe, obviously, that the cure is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can cure you. So it is important to get close to your Lord, yeah? And realize these raqis you're going to, maybe, they can't really help you. It's only up to Allah in the end who can really help you, you know? And the best ruqya is the ruqya you do on yourself, you know. It might be, Allah knows best, that maybe you go to a raqi, somebody says, there's so many people who call themselves who does ruqya, yeah. Anybody can be if you want to, you know. This is not like it's not rocket science, you know. I mean, it's just reading Quran on somebody, yeah. You may be more beloved to Allah than the person you're going to. So your ruqya on yourself is much stronger. So you go to somebody, and maybe Allah loves you more than the one you're going to. So your dua, Allah is going to answer, maybe more likely than the one you're going to. You understand? Because sometimes you don't know what these people are getting up to. Yeah? You can't trust them, you don't know what's going on. Yeah? So it's important to be aware that your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's where the cure is going to come from in the end, inshallah. So you being with Allah and asking Allah to cure you. Another point is thinking well of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is very important, this part. If you find that you have got something in the end, then we must think well of Allah. We can't say, oh, why me? Oh, why are you doing it to me? No, you don't go down that road. You know, whatever is done to you is qadar and is good for you. And you must think well about, okay, this must be good for me. Allah knows what I need. Yeah? And that comes on to the next point about is the affliction a test or a punishment? Okay, so you have to look at that. Okay, you've got it, you found out you've got sihr. Okay, why has Allah done this to you? Has He done it to you like with the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to raise the status of you? Because he got it. Yeah, so he got it. Well, what was it for? Well, Allah's not punishing, Allah was raising his status. So is it like that for you? Or is it a punishment for you? Well, if it is a punishment, it's good for you as well, because then you don't get nothing in the next life, in the akhirah, yeah? So it's both are good for you. Maybe it's ibtila, a test, or maybe it's something where Allah is going to give you some punishment, but both good for you. Yeah? And how you know if it is a test or a punishment? You look at yourself. As I asked one shaykh, so how do you know then? Is test ibtila, or is it adab? How do I know if it's a punishment? He said, you know, Saeed, you look at yourself, you look at your life, you're doing sins, you're doing normal, you do what you're getting up to. Allah inshallah ta'ala will guide you and you will know what your status is regarding, is it a punishment or is it a test? Okay, next point which I'd like to quickly get on to, the importance of the niyyah here. One of the major things when you're doing the ruqya, especially to diagnose between the 4 sets we've got here, is your intention. Why are you reading the Quran for? Because I have many people that come to me and they say to me, well, I'm always reading the Quran. Okay, why are you reading the Quran? Are you reading the Quran for ruqya, to cure yourself? No, I just read the Quran. Okay, this is you have to read the Quran with that intention. Intention is very important. When they change the intention, you see there's a big difference. You say, yeah, I'm feeling different now, you know. They'll say to you, yeah, because it's different. And they say sometimes also they say to, I'm always listening to the Quran. Okay, I say, what do you say to? Okay, listen to one which has been recorded specific ruqya. You know, one specific sheikh maybe who's doing special ruqya, he did the recording for ruqya that, yeah. Or somebody who's just doing maybe another one, Manshawi or Ali Rahman. Good, I listen to them both. They're my favorite reciters. But it's not done for ruqya. So you might not get so much effect as somebody who maybe read with the intention this is ruqya to help the Muslims. You see, there's going to be a big difference between the two. You see, what's the difference? It's just the niyyah. Okay, it's just the niyyah. Just like you can use Surah Fatiha 7 times to treat sihr. Change the niyyah. You treat the ayn. For instance, when I was reading on somebody, one particular sister, 7 times Fatiha checking for sihr. But I already had a strong idea from others. I knew that this was no sihr. But let's just read. I was reading 7 times sihr. Nothing. As soon as I didn't tell her what I'm doing, I changed my niyyah. Allah only knows this. Ayn. As soon as I do this, the next one, Bismillah, the number 8, I start again number 7 for to treat ayn now. It starts reacting. There's an ayn in there. So there's no sihr, but there's ayn. What's the difference? What have I done? The only difference is the change of the niyyah. I'm going now, treating the ayn. Before I was hitting the sihr, but there's no sihr there. So negative result, there's nothing there. So what is it hitting? You're reading for sihr, there's no sihr there, so you're not going to get no reaction. You change the niyyah, as soon as you change it, Fatiha, for ayn, they start changing, they start moving. Okay. There's also with this, many people they say, well, I'm always reading Surah Falaq and Nas for protection. Protection is something different. You read it for protection. You got to read it for, if you got something, you got to read it for ruqya. If you got to read for ruqya, it's something different. Ruqya, like somebody was asking me just recently now, the adhkar, even in the morning, that's going to protect you. So it'll protect you from anything else hitting you. Okay, that's your protection, that's your shield. Okay. However, it's not going to get rid of if something is already there. You need to do ruqya to get rid of that one. Change the niyyah with falaq and nas, now get rid of that. Yeah? Change the niyyah, see? So it's very important, this changing the niyyah, yeah? Okay. Quickly go to dispelling some myths and stuff like this. That, in my opinion, I'm just going by what I'm seeing. My friends and my family is like this. I would say, and Allah knows best, maybe 60 to 70% of the Muslims have got something. 60 to 70% of the Muslims have got something. Either there's some sihr, okay? With jinn or not without jinn. There's ayn, with jinn or without jinn. There's just jinn there, maybe from love or some revenge is inside you. okay? Or somebody's got waswas, too much waswas, okay? One of those things, I'll maybe find something, somebody's got something there. You know? Look, I'm just looking at my own friend. You? How? You? I'm looking at myself as well. Look, I was afflicted. And I'm going on for years, I didn't know what was wrong with me. Okay? Until alhamdulillah guided me, and then I found out what I had. Another point is that if you have something, if you are afflicted, it doesn't mean that you've got weak iman. That some people say, because he's weak, that's why he's got this sickness. He's a weak man. No, it's nothing to do with that. Okay? The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had it. So he's got weak iman? No. So it's nothing to do with weak iman or something like this, okay? Likewise, even the ayn, it's got nothing to do with weak iman, or even if you've got a jinn inside you. Maybe the jinn went inside you when you were a little child. I've had cases where it goes inside maybe when they're 3 years old, and it stays with them, and it causes mental problems. Sister going in and outside of the hospital. Mental hospital, sectioned off, bipolar. You read, you find there's jinns there. They've been, you talk to them, they say they've been there. I've been here since when I was 3 years old, I went in there. You know, they've been in there for a long time. Okay, so it's not to do with your iman. Why we don't see it, okay, and maybe some of you got some, Allah knows best, is because of your iman. Because you've got some iman, you come to the masjid, you're praying regularly and all like this, you don't see it, so you don't notice it. And there's one brother I read on yesterday, last night, brother, Saeed Abdullah, you know, he had some skin, he's got some skin problems and stuff like this, so I read on him, and I said, you've got ayn, you see. The skin, usually, when you find someone's got a lot of skin problems, it's sometimes to do with ayn. So we found he had ayn and he had jinn. So there was the ayn and he had come through the jinn. They came through, the jinn came through ayn. But he's a good brother. And it was only a minor reaction. See, because what the ayn jinn are like, they're like squatters. They like to sit there and just, you know, make their homes, make this their homes. They live there, they have their children there living in there, yeah? And just sit there and enjoy themselves, you know? And you won't know that you've got them until you do the ruqya. Once you do the ruqya, and you have to do specific ruqya to get them out. You can't just read. You know, just don't, you know, I'm going to do ruqya. Okay, good, you're doing ruqya now. But what are you doing the ruqya for? Are you doing it for sihr? Are you doing it for ayn? Are you doing it for jinn possession? Are you doing it for waswas? Which one are you doing it for? You've got to be specific. Just don't do ruqya as well. If you do like this sometimes, what happens, I've noticed, if you do all four, the niyyah is just ruqya, nothing happens. The person, especially the ayn, what I've seen, the ayn doesn't come up. Ayn is subtle. So maybe the sihr jinn comes, but the ayn jinn, you don't see it. And then what happens, you just say, you've got sihr only. No, he's got some ayn there, but what happened, you've not spent enough time maybe looking at for the ayn jinn, you know? So you need to check properly. Another point here. If the jinn starts speaking, so you do ruqya, alright? You start Fatiha 7 times, next thing the jinn's up, and it's there in front of you talking, okay? And he's telling you things, yeah? What I've seen from my experience is that the person has iman issues. What do I mean by that? Is that there's got some weakness in the iman, that's why the jinn can take over. When the person's got stronger iman, you don't see nothing. All you see maybe is just a shaking. Like this, a little bit of shake, you know? And when you tell the person, stop that shaking, let go, stop, and they can control the jinn. They control the jinn, doesn't control them. Okay? So, when you see people speaking like on the YouTube and that, many people get upset with this. Is it like this having jinn? Is it like this? No, it's not like this. For some people it's like this. And when you tell these people, look at your iman, control yourself, and they stop the sins, then you see that they, subhanAllah, they control the jinn. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is adil, He's just. He doesn't give you something you can't control. Even if it's punishment, they make tawbah and stuff, you see that they're controlling the jinn. I've seen this with my own eyes. You tell them, look, take tawbah, immediately there's a big difference in they're controlling the jinn. The jinn doesn't control them anymore. You know? Another point which I need to clarify before we get on to the practical is some people keep going on about sihr. It's all in the mind. Sihr is in the mind. Don't think about it. Just carry on with your life. You'll be all right. Don't do nothing. You know. You have strong iman. It will go away. You know. No, you have to do ruqya to get rid of it. You can't just leave it alone. Something has to be done. You know. and it has its effects. So sometimes, for instance, there's some type of sihr which is it makes you impotent. Children, here is the okay. All right. So the man, he can't go to his wife, so he can't have relations with his wife. Now we can't say to that brother, "Akhi, astaghfirullah. Your wife has rights on you. You need to come on, sort your iman out, brother. Come on. Your wife has rights. You must give your wife her rights." No, yeah, the sihr has done something. So you have to help the brother do ruqya, help him with hijama, to help him up, help him. No, because the sihr has its effects. It's like a disease, you know, in that sense. So it can block certain things. It's not to do with, unfortunately, some people are like that. They say this to people who are sick with sihr. Maybe they've got sihr or maybe causing them some illness and that. Astaghfirullah, sort your iman out. No. You tell them to sort the iman out when the jinn comes up talking, like this, yeah, sort your iman out there. But not when you've got physical pains and stuff like this. No, not like this. Yeah? Because remember, if you go back to the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you saw he was forgetting. If you remember the hadith or his story, where now nobody will say to him, "What's wrong? How is he? He's forgetting, you see. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he's forgetting. So there's some issue here. Yeah? So nobody would ever say to Rasulullah, "What's the matter, Rasulullah? Make your iman strong." Nobody would say this to him. Yeah, nobody would say this. So it shows you, alhamdulillah, that story is a very good example for us. That is it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yeah? So he learned from that example. You see, it was affecting him. Alright? It's not to do with no iman or something like that. When he got rid of it, then alhamdulillah, he was better. The other point is, we can all do ruqya ourselves. It's good to do ruqya yourselves. Yes, you can do it. No problem. And the man, he can do it on his family, wife and children and stuff like this. But if you want to go start doing it on other people and stuff like this, okay, do it. I mean, if you want to, but you have to obviously be aware. Make sure you do adhkar. You must be a serious Muslim. You can't be somebody who's wishy-washy doing. Some people get into this for just the money. You know, and there's one brother telling me that there's some people in there just for the money. As coming here, telling me about people who've got how many free wives and cars and all this from the ruqya. Yeah, and they're making money from this like this. If you're going to go for this thing, then no. If you're going to go in there just to help the Muslims, that you don't want any money from them like this, you're going to go like this, and you don't want any money from them, you know, you yourself, you know that you've got strong iman. I mean, in a sense, you know, you pray your 5 times, you pray in the masjid, and you want to help the Muslims. Yes, then you should try to get involved in this, because we need people to help people. It's needed. But if you're going to be somebody who just, you know, I'm just in there for the money, I'm not a serious Muslim anyway, I just like the attention, I'm Raqya, I read on the jinn, so let me tell you some stories, the jinn did this to me and I did this to the jinn. It kind of, no, you know. If you have that attitude that when you go to the people, you say, Alhamdulillah, thank you for calling me. No, you don't need the money. Thank you, I need to go to Jannah. Thank you. I don't need any money from you because I'm getting ajr from doing this, helping you. I've got a lot of ajr. Yes, this ajr might take you to Jannah. Remember that woman who went down to the well and gave the dog the water to drink, yeah? Now, if that's enough to take her to Jannah, then what is it if you get called 3 o'clock in the morning, you come help your brother, and you don't want any money from them? You know? So yes, you can do it, but you have to be serious. So, but in this situation, in our particular talk, obviously I just want you to do this, what I'm teaching you now, is just for yourself to treat yourself, not to obviously go out and treat other people, yeah? Okay. And if some of you do decide to do that, I'm obviously not responsible for that, you know. But it doesn't mean that, it might work for you, you know. You have to know it's serious. It's just not a game. The jinn do come back and attack. They do kill you. They come back and attack. They do kill you. If you're not really on your religion, you don't know yourself, they will come back and attack you. Yeah? Because you might be killing, you killed them. So what they're going to do, what happens to one of us if one of our families killed us, and you get angry, don't you? Likewise, the jinn, they'll maybe come back after you. Okay. So let's go into sort of like a bit more before we get into the practical part, just break up the types of ruqya you can do, okay? What we're going to look in today is, I'm going to do kulli sihr, I mean, every type of sort of sihr. I'm not going to specify, this is not about doing specific ruqya for which sihr you got on that. When we find that you've got sihr, then you try to get rid of it all, any type. Don't worry about what type of sihr it is. Kulli ayn, whatever type of ayn you've got, you just get rid of it all. And You got ayn, okay, you can get ayn from the jinn, you can get ayn from even from your own self. There's usually two types of ayn. Ayn muta'ajjib and ayn hasid, yeah? Just get rid of them all. We don't worry about what it is, you see. Kulli mas, any type of jinn possession, you know. The jinn could come through sihr, the jinn could come through ayn, the jinn could come through when you're yawning, and it goes into you. You know, it could be in love with you and it just goes inside, you know. Maybe when you're very emotional, like this, and it just jumps inside you, and you're happy or angry, it goes inside you. And the last one we're going to look at as well is waswas, okay? And this is basically, sometimes you find a person has got no sihr, there's no ayn, there's no jinn inside them, but they have a lot of problems like phobias, you know, they have doubts in the religion, you know. A lot of waswas, they get a lot of waswas, phobias, or maybe you look at this, maybe someone who had phobia of the police. Now when you look at these people and ask, why are you scared of the police? What happened, brother? Why? And you find that this particular person is that when he was young, maybe 7, 6 years old, the parents, the mother, because don't go to that room, I'm going to call the police, I'm going to call the police. And he gets conditioned. So now when he sees police, he remembers the childhood, so he gets affected by that. So these people, they sort of need this sort of ruqya, waswas, and it clears it up, and alhamdulillah, they get better. Other cases, maybe panic attacks, you find people got panic attacks. There's no sihr, there's no ayn, there's no masjid. What's wrong with them? You do this ruqya, waswas, you find that, you know, it calms them down, you know. This is what they react to, you know. Other people, for instance, they have, you know, this compulsive sort of disorder. You know, they go to sleep, is the cooker off, the gas off. Maybe it's not off. Go back down, knock it off. It's off. And they go back to sleep. And then they get, no, it's not off. And they go back and they keep going back. And then sometimes it gets so bad that they just sit there crying and crying and crying. I said, you just do it. Even if they sometimes take a picture of it. They go back and they see the picture, did they turn the gas off? No, it's still in their mind, you know. And you get cases of people worried about laughter. You know, they get phobia of laughter when they hear people laughing. They're laughing at me. They're not laughing at you. But because it's been affected pretty badly, you've got cases of people being vomit, you know, being just the noise. It puts them up, they're in a panic, and you see them cry. They're in a bad state. When you look at them, you think, there must be jinn inside this person. You do the ruqya, there's no jinn there. There's no sihr, there's no really no, and there's nothing there really. Just this. But when they do this ruqya, they feel better. Okay. Now let's get on to the sort of practical part. Okay. So before you start doing the ruqya, first yourself, you get 4 glasses of water, yeah? What I do usually, I do it like this. Okay, I put on here ayn, sihr, meme for the mas, and waw for the waswas. And what we do, we usually start with the sihr.
What's the meme for?
The mas, the jinn possession.
Oh, the jinn possession.
So I usually start off with sihr. Then I do ayn. After the ayn, mas. Then after that is waswas. Turn that one off. Right, so you've got your 4 glasses of water. I just do this. You can do whatever you want to do. Put numbers on it. So you don't even have to put nothing on it. You know it's in order. But what I would suggest you do, because these things play a great game with you, put some sticker on it. Because they say, did I react to that one? Which one is it? They're going to play with you, especially if you've got a jinn inside you. So you know you haven't got out. Did I do that one? No, I didn't do that one. I thought I did that one. And you get confused. So it's important to actually do put.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
Is he facing over?
Right.
He's getting questions directly from the radio station.
All right, okay.
So he'll ask it to you, inshallah.
All right, no problem. No problem. Okay, so it's better to put something on there. All right, it's better to put something on there because they can play games with you, especially if you've got something inside you. Then it's going to say, you know, you didn't do that one. You know, you ain't got sihr, you ain't got sihr. Especially sihr. No, you ain't got sihr. There's no sihr. No, ayn, it's just ayn. Fuck up. No, there's no sihr inside you. So before we start reading on any of these, what you need to do, this is a very important point. Like I said, important that the niyyah, remember I emphasized the importance of the niyyah, yeah? This is the next important thing. Next important thing is establishing the reference point. What I mean by that is this your standard state, the way you are before you do the ruqya. Because this is how you're going to work out if you got something. You're going to work out you're going to get something by this point. So what you get in a good comfortable position, relax, close your eyes, and then feel your body basically. Okay, this is what my natural feeling is. I'm not doing any ruqya myself. Okay, I've got a little bit of an itchy eye because that's the bit of the hay fever I had yesterday or something. So you incorporate, you've got a little bit of itchy eye, which you usually have anyway. Okay, that's normal, that's nothing new. Okay, yeah, that little stomach ache I had yesterday because I ate some bad food, and you remember that, hey, that's nothing. Oh, the gym, I was in the gym yesterday and I pulled a muscle up here. So that, you put all of these things into the reference points, and that's my normal state before I do the ruqya. That's my normal state, okay? So you might want to stay like that for 1 minute. Depends how you want to, okay? It might be a little bit longer for you, but you've got to be comfortable with that situation you're in. Okay, that's my natural state, okay? So if you want to write it down, write it down. I know one person writes it down. Writes it down, okay, that's the state, okay, the state's like that, okay? So you don't get confused. Okay, once you've done that, you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you, to show you if you've got sihr, ya Allah, show it to me, okay? You make a serious dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yeah? This is where you connect with your Lord, yeah? Because only Allah is going to show you this thing, yeah? Okay? Then you take the glass or you take the bottle, and the intention is sihr, yeah? No, I ain't nothing else, I'm looking for sihr. That's my intention, yeah? So I'm reading with the intention to look for sihr, to Allah to help me to find out if I've got sihr, yeah? You've just made your dua, so you're going to read into the water. Alright, so we're looking for sihr. This is the intention. Diagnosis, diagnose yourself, looking for sihr. So you start. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر النفاثات في العقد. And you keep repeating that ayah number 4. Make it odd number. 5, 7, 11. Okay, preferably above 10, yeah? Better to do above 10, yeah? Then when you've done it about 11 times, then come to the end, finish the surah. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. Okay, all of the intention there, you reading that surah, reading the whole thing with, looking for sihr, yeah? Intention is very important here. Then you come to the end, then you blow into the water. Now there's 3 types of blowing. Blowing, just blowing, like that. Okay, and then there's the blowing which is a little bit of spit in there. Okay? And then the last one is actually spit in there. I'm not going to do that here, but try and do that in there, yeah, if you can, because it's your own spit. I mean, okay, if you have problems, drink your own saliva, okay, that's something else. Okay, at least do the second one then. You can't do the last one. Good to put all 3 inside there, yeah? Okay, so then you do that. Shake it. Now, you might get a reaction while you're actually doing that. Just reading on there, some people might start reacting to that. You might find something, might be some shivering or shaking like that. Just know, be aware of it, so you're aware of those things as well. Yeah, because you might be reacting while you're actually reading on there. Yeah. Then what you do, you take 3 Bismillah, you take 3 steps. Three half mouthfuls. You can take more than that, better. The more you take, the better, yeah? So 3 good mouthfuls. Then you take some water. Okay, so you're going to take a bit of the water. Make sure it covers all of your hands. If you can go up here as well, no problem. So lift up here and you put water up here as well, fine, no problem. Then you face, you can take a bit more, alright? Take a little bit more. And put it in there, so it's all wet. Then what you need to do, you need to dry yourself. Now the reason you're going to dry yourself is that you don't want any interference. Because when you do wudu, sometimes the water starts evaporating and you start itch around here and stuff like that. That might confuse you a little bit. Was that something? Was that not something? Because remember, this is how we work out if you've got something. So what you do, I haven't got no tissues with me here, unfortunately. You dry yourself. Okay, you dry yourself. Okay, so this is my towel. I've got my towel here. I dry myself. All right. So I've dried myself. All right. Then what you do now? Note down another reference point. Okay, I've just taken that water. Do I feel anything from what I just did? Remember, before I started anything, I was like this. Now I've read a bit of Quran and I've drank the water. How do I feel now? And then, so you take it again. You take a reference point. Oh, I'm feeling something actually. I've got a little bit of stomach pain. Is a bit more than what it was before, you know. And then you note down these little bits. Oh, a bit of a headache. Yeah. Sometimes you might get such a reaction that water is just enough. So you put it, and then you know, okay, I've got sihr, khalas. You don't need to do this. It's such a strong reaction that you don't have to continue. However, if you feel like you're a bit in doubt still, then do the ruqya. I'll show you what you're doing, and you're going to do the ruqya. It's the same thing as you read on here. The same thing. So again, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب same niyyah, remember the niyyah is sihr, I'm looking for sihr now. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر النفاثات في العقد. And you just keep repeating that. And you're going to repeat that for about 10 to 15 minutes. Try and do 15 minutes. Try and do 15 minutes. It's not that long. I know, it's not that long really. When you do it, you see it won't be that long. Okay, when you're doing it, if you might find that while you're doing that, if you're doing that, while you're reading, you might find some shakes. It might be little shakes like this. Alright? It might be a bigger shake like that. Okay? Alright? It might be something else like this. If the gym's on your left side, so we'll be doing this, yeah? So any significant shaking, you might just feel like a shiver. Like that. You might feel some shivering like this throughout the while you're doing it. You carry on going. You carry on going until you're happy in yourself. Say, khalas, there's something here, I've got it. You know? And remember, this is all asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you've asked Allah, you sincerely asked Allah, Allah, show me, oh God, please. Didn't you start reacting like this? Especially this shaking. It could be even like this. Fingers going in like that. Yeah? That's why maybe it's maybe halfway through it. You might not got a major reaction in the sense that because of your iman, you've got strong iman, it might be minor. So it might be just the fingers going, or just the toes going. So what you do, look at your toes while you're doing it halfway through. Let me check. My toes are right. Because sometimes what happens, you won't notice it. When I'm reading people sometimes, you tell them to close their eyes because you might want them to see something. And their fingers are going like this. And they don't notice it. And say, no, there's a jinn there, brother. But they didn't notice it. Really, was my fingers moving? Yeah, the fingers were moving. Yeah? So have a look halfway through it when you're happy that you don't feel anything right, for about 10 minutes, 5-7 minutes, nothing, you don't feel that major. Have a look at your fingers and toes if you see these things moving. Yeah? What else could you see? You just cover the limb movements. You might want to vomit. If you're eating the sick, yeah, you might want to vomit. You might get some queasiness or just sickness, yeah? You might get some sickness. You might feel heat. Now, you're going to get something like that, maybe heat or headache, or yes, maybe some heat. If there might not be no jinn inside you with the sihr, you might just got sihr like what happened to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He didn't have any jinn in him, but he had sihr, right? So you might get something like that. Rare, but it happens. It's possible. Okay? What else is there? Cover the headache, the heat. It's just because it's just so many things that could happen to you. What you do here is something significant after that reference point, and you're going to know it. Trust me. Yeah. Because I can give you a whole list of things, and it's not going to be there. That's why I don't want to get into that list thing. You see, I can give you just some major things. If I start giving you to do, you're going to look like there's 100 things. I can maybe give you 100 things, and I haven't got any of those things. But it's something you've got. It's something completely different. It's not on that list. Yeah. So just something big from that reference point, something significant. Say that is definitely. That's not normal. And when you stop the ruqya, it goes away. I said, yeah, that's right, I've got something then. That's when you know in your heart, it's alhamdulillah, I know I've got that. Yeah? Okay. The next thing we want to look at is the ayn. So you do the same thing with the ayn now. You get the water. What we said, establish a reference point. Yeah? Establish a reference point. Make a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Get the water out. And now your intention is looking for ayn. Yeah? Any sort of ayn which you might have been afflicted with. Yeah? So, you start here. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. And you keep repeating that. You keep repeating that, keep repeating that. Remember the same with the sihr one? Within 11, or make it an odd number, preferably above 11, yeah? 11 or above. Okay, then you do the same thing, okay? As the same thing as with the sihr, you're going to drink it 3 times. And again, taking water, and hand that in. Remember, you can go up here as well if you want to. You might take a little bit more. Nice. In your beard and all that, get everywhere. Actually, it might be even better just wait a few seconds, let it just settle in there for a bit, you know. Then wipe it off so you don't get oops. Then wipe it off so it doesn't interfere. And the reason why you need to get off, especially with the ayn, because we're going to be looking at some of the facial muscles, especially the eyes start flicking around and stuff like that. When you got all of this, and then sometimes I remember when I was one patient, the nose was just doing this. The nose was moving around, you see. So it's important to get rid of the water so you don't get confused with these things. Yeah? Okay, and then obviously get your reference point. Now take another reference point. Alright, take another reference point. Wait 1 minute or so. And when you've done that, you're happy with the reference point. You might see you might not see any differences this time. Because the ayn might be a bit less than what you got the sihr, okay? And then you start the ruqya. Again, the same thing as when you read on here. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. You keep going on, keep going on, keep going on with that. And likewise, when you come halfway through, maybe if you don't feel anything, then you might want to look at your fingers. You might want to look at your fingers and your toes. You might see that some of those things are moving around. Obviously, I've got my socks on now, but don't wear no socks. You could also put the water on your feet. You know, put the water on your feet. You know, put the water on your feet. Just wherever you put the water, you know, up here as well if you want to. But make sure you just dry it. The main thing, you've got to dry the water afterwards. Yeah. Okay, what could you see with this one? One of the first things you usually see with this one, okay, I'm going to give you the main, like I said with this, I'm just going to give you the main things in it. Could be a long list, but we don't go into that, yeah? Because you might not, and you might have any of those things, okay? One of the main things you see with it is the eyes start flickering around like this. Can you see that? So when you start doing وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ, you start doing this. So what you have to do with this one, when you establish the reference point for the ayn, look at your eyes, because sometimes people just close their eyes like that. It's already, because the ayn is so bad, the eyes are already going like this. So take that as a reference. So, okay, your eyes are like that at the moment. Let's see if it gets worse. And sometimes it usually does. When it's already like that, what happens? They start going, and then you start seeing the white. You start seeing the whites of the eyes. You start seeing the whites of the eyes. So you've got pretty bad ayn, you know. It's pretty bad ayn here, you know. Okay, so the eyes fluttering around, you'll see a bit of that. So you also get a feeling, of wanting to open your eyes. So maybe you didn't get much of a rapture in the front, but you had this, I want to open my eyes. You get that, you might get, that's a little bit less than the actual thing. You get a feeling of wanting to open your eyes. And don't fight it. What you got to do when you're doing all this work, you got to relax. Yeah? You got to relax. So let your body react to it. Yeah, relax. Yeah. I know you might be a little bit nervous when you're doing this, and everybody's going to be a little bit nervous because you don't want to find anything. As I had poor brother, when I was doing, oh no, oh no, yeah, it might happen, but just say alhamdulillah qadarullah, okay, because it's a good thing when you find that you got something, you can get rid of it then, So we said the flickering, reference point of the fluttering of the eyes. What you might also see is when they do that, when they close their eyes, and their eyes are closed, they see a static eye appear. Maybe a few eyes actually see. It's not moving or anything like that, it's just like like a white circle with a black dot in it. That's what they sort of see. When they do no Ruqya, they say, that's the ayn. That even might be the ayn which hit them actually. So they see that. Yeah, it's not moving. If it starts moving around and starts looking back at them like this and like this and like this, winking and blinking and stuff like that, it's moving and stuff like that, that's the jinn inside them. Okay, that's the jinn inside them. But I'm just talking about just a static black thing, white and a little black dot, just static. It doesn't moving. That's ayn. Okay, that's ayn. That shows you you've got ayn there. What you sometimes have only happened to me once. They see the one who gave him the ayn. They see garments, the person's clothes they see. The person, when you do the Ruqya, they see the person's clothes while the eyes are closed. They see that person's clothes. So when they're closed, they can see the person's clothes, their garments. Another thing you see is that a purple or bluish blob. When you look at the sun sometimes, when you were a kid, and you look at the sun, you're playing this game, and you close your eyes, look at the colours. You see that sort of thing. So when they close your eyes, they see this sort of purplish blob there. You see this purplish blob there when you're doing the Ruqya, and it starts changes colours and stuff like that, But usually what they'll see is like a purplish, bluish thing. Yeah? It might become other colours as well. It might start changing, yellow and stuff like this. But the main colours they see usually is the purplish and sort of bluish, or blue or purplish or blob. Okay, that's basically the ayn. Okay, let's move on to the mass diagnosis. So now, again, same process. So I'm not going to repeat myself. You know the reference points and that stuff like that. I'm just going to show you what you need to read in here. Yeah, what you need to read in is this. Okay, your intention is looking for jinn. Okay, mass is looking for the jinn. Yeah. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس من الجنة والناس من الجنة والناس من الجنة والناس من الجنة والناس. And you're going to repeat that last ayah again like the others, yeah? And again, drink 3 times. Okay, and do the same process. What you find is when you do this Ruqya, when you keep repeating that ayah, so you start again when you do the Ruqya, start from the beginning, then you come back to the end of the ayah, end of the surah, and you keep repeating that ayah. You'll get usually a reaction if there's a jinn inside you, with the min jinnati, that's that ghunna there, you usually get a reaction. The jinn don't like that one, so you say, A'udhu billahi shaitanir rajim. من الجنة والناس من الجنة والناس من الجنة والناس من الجنة والناس. So there's a reaction there. They don't like that. Yeah. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean that when you do this, when you see it happening, or if, that you do this. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم من الجنة والناس من الجن, and you hold it. Don't hold it. No need to. You're gonna just stick to, it's enough. Yeah, I thought, look, it's reacting more. This is good, No, don't go into that. Just say you find it's just no more to harak. That's it, it's reacted, that's enough. You don't need to exaggerate now. Okay. So with this one, with the possession, you're going to get like again some movements, okay? You might get shivers, you feel like this, you feel like your body's moving and stuff like this. And if sometimes you feel it, but if somebody looks at you, they can't see this stuff. So you can feel something moving around. Okay. What else we have? Yeah, major muscle spasms. I'm not talking about these little tap movements and stuff like this. You want to get a nice big muscle like your thigh here going, yeah, or your calf muscle here going around like that, really getting in there, you know, really moving, you know. Good spasm, which you could say this is not normal, man. This wasn't happening before I started. Now I'm getting this big thing shaking around, you know. Your pecs going like this, you know, like this, and all that. You know, you get all these things against what's going on here, you know. This is something. This is not normal. Look, you know. You will know, you know. You might get some sickness as well. Might get some sickness. Yeah, you're gonna get maybe some sickness. That's possible. That might happen there. All right. Because you look for jinn. Your intention is to Allah show me something significant with the jinn. So anything significant after that reference point, you've asked Allah to ask you. So you put your trust in Allah. Allah's going to show you, inshallah ta'ala. Yeah. You know. So anything major. So you might have major headaches. Yeah. Major headaches. You might have a major headache. You might get some sort of severe pain in the body. Some sort of severe pain. You get some severe pain. And another thing you might get is anxiety or feeling nervous or scared. Now, what that basically is the jinn inside you getting a bit scared and you actually feel it. Yeah, because you're like mixed up with each other a little bit there, yeah? I'll give you an example. For instance, when I went to one of my friends, I was just about to start a ruqya on him, I was doing a ruqya, and he said, "No, I'm feeling scared of you, Saeed." I said, "What do you mean you're feeling scared of me?" "It's me." He said, "Yeah, but I'm scared of you." He said, "That's the jinn, that's not you." He said, "Yeah, that can't be me." How am I scared of you, Saeed? I said, "No, you can't be scared of me." "Are you scared of me?" It's his friend, you see. So that's the thing to note out as well. That's one of the things you find with children. The kids, before you start ruqya on them, they start getting a bit scared and stuff like this. And say, "Dad, I'm getting a bit scared of you, you know. I'm a bit scared of you." And that's one of the signs that there's something there. You know, Dad, I want to do ruqya on you. When you say I'm going to do ruqya on you, Dad, I'm getting scared of you. You know, and it's there's a sign that there's something there. Okay, also, I mean, when you close your eyes, you might see some moving images for all of them. You might see this, if it's a jinn come through sihr, you might see that. Even if it's through, you might see even through ayn, there's a jinn coming through the ayn. When you close your eyes, you see these images there. You might see some animals, like a bird looking back at you like this, you know, looking back at you. You know, you see people, man, standing there, pointing at you or something like this, you know, or just standing there, moving around like this. You see these images, yeah, these figures looking at you and stuff. And when you open your eyes, it's gone. When you close your eyes, they are looking at you like this. This is the jinn inside you. You're possessed, basically. You might see it as a snake. You might see it as a snake or something like this, you know. Okay, the last one will be is waswas. Okay, again, same process with all the other ones, right? I'm just going to show you what to read on here, and then just go what you might see. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Okay, remember the intention here is to look for Allah show me any waswas which I might be suffering from, you know. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس من شر الوسواس الخناس من شر الوسواس الخناس من شر الوسواس الخناس من شر الوسواس الخناس. You could repeat that as much as that odd number, and also you add to that the next ayah, yeah? الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس. Read those two, okay? So it could be an odd number, yeah? Make an odd number. I don't know if I've done an odd number now. Okay, sorry. And then you split in the same process. It's the same process, okay? Like with the other two. Yeah, and then you take the sips, and then again reference point again before you start the ruqya, and then you get your so you're going to read when you come to those ayahs. قل أعوذ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس من شر الوسواس الخناس. You do that for a while, okay? You maybe spend like 7 minutes on that one, and then you get the next one, another 7 minutes on that one, next ayah, maybe 7 minutes on that one, okay? What you see with this one, okay, what you will see with this one is the eyes. Now, the eyes start going. The fluttering of the eyes is a little bit different from the one through the ayn. What happens usually is a bit fast. So what you see is like fast and it slows down. And it's that's what you get. And sometimes you get it a bit bigger. A bit bigger. I've not seen that. I've not seen this one. I've not seen the whites of the eyes. That's only the ayn like that. I go like that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just so you know what it looks like. Yeah, I'm not trying to make you laugh or anything like that. So I want you to understand what's going on. Yeah. So that's you see. This is the difference between the two. You're going to find there's a big difference between the two. Also, what you're going to get is the heart palpitations. That the heart might go a little bit fast. You know. And you notice that, so the heart, notice the heart, my heart going a bit faster, yeah? Yeah? Oh.
This one. This one.
Where's that coming from? Yeah, but they need this one as well.
There's an echo that's got a line from this. The other dressing.
Oh, really?
This case.
But they said it wasn't working that one.
Yeah, try
Alright,
something.
okay, but it's alright. Okay, let me just do that. So I just said the heart palpitations, okay? Also, when you finish the ruqya, it's like they've come out of they feel really relaxed. Remember, this time when you find that these people have got no sihr, they've got no ayn, they've got no jinn possession. When you finish with it, they feel very relaxed. They've come out of a jacuzzi, hot bath, not steam house. They feel very relaxed. Yeah. Because remember, these people are like very always panicky, and they got like phobias. So when they do this, it's like their mindset. They feel really relaxed. That's one of the signs of this one. Yeah. So look at how relaxed you feel. Do you feel a bit extra relaxed and extra relaxation sort of after it? Yeah. Another sign for which I forgot to mention, which I didn't put here, is also the tiredness. Check your tiredness. It's best to do this when you're not tired, because being tired is a sign in itself. It's you've got something. Yeah, so if you're wide awake and stuff like that, you're fine. And it's early in the morning, when you've just had maybe did some exercise, and you've had maybe some coffee and stuff like that, so you're wide awake. You do the ruqya, you start feeling really tired. It shows that there's something there. It could be the sihr, it could be the ayn, it could be the jinn possession. Yeah, and it could be obviously the waswas, so that feeling of relaxation coming out of the bath. Like you feel like really, really relaxed. Yeah. Okay. The last point regarding the diagnosis part, is that if you're in doubt if you've got it or not, no problem. Take it as if you got it. Better to be like that rather than say no, I haven't got that. Especially with sihr. Just say look, I've got it. All right. Just take it as if you've got it. If you're in doubt because you because of experience, you don't know what exactly is going on. You might the first time maybe you're doing this to yourself, so you're a little bit of a doubt. Then take it as maybe you've got something. But what I believe, that if you really sincerely ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you should see. Put your trust in Allah, you will see, inshallah. Especially if you're someone who says, I don't want to go to this, I don't want to go to the Iraqis, I know about the hadith about the 70,000, I want to try and do this myself, If you like this, I'm going to trust in my Lord and I'm going to try and do it myself. If you like this, inshallah, Allah will show you. Yeah? Allah will show you, inshallah ta'ala, yeah? He will show you something major, and then you will know yourself, you say, I've got it, But let's go back to someone, if you're in doubt, then just take it as if you've got it, just to make sure, yeah? Just to make sure. Because obviously doing some experience here. Okay, when you come to the treatment, let's just take it as if, what happens here? If you've got positive reaction for the sihr, you got sihr now, and then you were moving like this as well, and you got sihr and there's possession there as well. It's a sihr. It's definitely a jinn who's come from sihr. Then you've got and also you start reacting to the you got the sihr, and then you got sihr. So you're moving around. Okay, you got sihr and there's possession. Okay, that's definitely an ayn jinn which has come through ayn, is a jinn which has come through sihr. Yeah. Then you do ayn ruqya, and then you start reacting again. Okay, what we can say, you got ayn and there's a jinn there with the ayn. Now that jinn it could be actually the same sihr jinn. Alright? Now how is that? Well, if the sihr, somebody does sihr on you, when the jinn comes to you and it wants to go inside you, it steps back and looks like how it's going to get into your body. Now, it could wait for yawning and you'll jump inside, or it could wait for you get very emotional, angry, something like that, happy, and it can jump inside. Or easiest way for it to get inside is that if you've been damaged by ayn, it's like having bullet wounds in you. They see these things. When they see these things, they just jump inside that. Like an ayn portal, we call an ayn portal or a hole, they just go inside there. So it's easy. I'm not going to wait around, they're going to save it, and they'll just go inside this part. So that sihr jinn now, that jinn came from sihr nujni, it goes through this ayn portal, it will now react to ayn ruqya. Alright? Alright? So it could be actually the one which is reacting to the ayn ruqya is that one. Alright? However, it could also mean you've got other ayn jinn there as well. It doesn't mean, it might be other jinns in there. But we're not doing any specific, I don't want to go into any specific look at how to work that one out, what it is. We don't need to do that because it's the same treatment, Sometimes it doesn't really benefit you, knowing all of these, the details of the jinn, what is it a Jewish jinn, a Christian? Sometimes it doesn't really benefit you sometimes. Has it got blonde hair or blue hair? What's it going to do for you? It's not going to do much for you. You just know that you got it, let's get rid of it, let's kill it, let's get you better, Okay, so let's just take so once you've worked out, you've got these two, the sihr and the shaking, and there's an ayn, and he's shaking as well, for both of them you're shaking, alright? So it's not worth doing these two then really, the mass, because we can already know that you're possessed, and you already got, whenever you're possessed, you're always going to have waswas, it's always together. That's why Allah doesn't mention, subhanahu wa ta'ala, doesn't mention mass or jinn possession in Surah Nas. It's not mentioned, but because every person who's possessed always gets this naturally. Remember that story I told you, that person who's feeling nervous, and because it's all mixed up, you're all mixed up with them. So they give you something in the end, something comes off them and you feel some of theirs, it's all mixed, you get some of their waswas, it's there. It's there, you get it, So, whenever you're possessed, you always have waswas is there. Yeah, so sometimes it's not point doing that, And it could mean that you also, when you're reacting, that you might have it could be some maybe jinn for love or revenge in there as well. Even if it is, doesn't matter. We know you possess, it's the same treatment. It could be that there might be a separate love jinn in there or something like that, and it didn't react. Maybe it went in through your yawning. All right, when you yawned and it went inside, and it was in love with you. So when you do the sihr ruqya, it's not going to react. When you do ayn ruqya, because it didn't go through ayn portal, it's not going to react. It went through your mouth. Okay, so it's not going to react. It's just sitting there. It doesn't really matter. Because when you do your ruqya, you're just going to do Allah, get rid of it will burn all the jinn inside me. No matter where they're from. Love jinn, revenge jinn, sihr jinn, ayn jinn, whatever jinn's in there, get rid of them. Alright? So you save yourself time, you don't have to go worrying about this one. Because maybe, usually people when they do this, you might feel a bit down anyway. Don't want to go and doing these ones, but, you've already got those two, Okay, say for instance you nothing for sihr, then you haven't got ayn, then you have to go and look for jinn possession, okay? And then look for waswas as well. Do them, yeah? If you don't react to the first two, okay? If you don't react to the sihr, you don't react to ayn, then you must do the other two. You must do them. Okay, and even if you don't, and if you react to, if you didn't react to this one, the mass, the jinn possession, then you definitely need to do that one. Waswas, you need to do that one. But if you react to the mass, okay, so negative sihr, negative ayn, but mass ruqya, you start reacting to it, you don't have to do the waswas one now, because like I said, every person, when you got jinn, there's always waswas there, there's always waswas there. Okay, now going back to let's go to the treatment. To the treatment. Your treatment. Your treatment is just sort of falaq and nas. It's nothing. Okay, I'm not going to go into the details, but there's a hadith, it's a clear hadith, it's in Tirmidhi. When those two came down, it was just falaq and nas. He didn't use anything else. So the best thing to do, and it's from my own experience, treating myself with sihr and stuff. That's why I did not. I told the patients just do falaq and nas. Don't worry about ayatul kursi. Yeah, when I'm reading on you, I'll use that's something else. Reading on you, fatiha, that's something else. But for yourself, treating yourself, just falaq and nas. Falaq and nas, okay? And I'm going from my own personal experience, of treating myself with sihr, and alhamdulillah cured me through falaq and nas, and what I've seen other people do as well, okay? So one of the first things you've got to do, let's just take worst case scenario, you've got all of them, all right? It will depend on, you have to, intentions will be according to what you have. And it's all just intentions really. Before you start your recitation of Surah Falaq and Nas, obviously you ask Allah to help you cure you of what you've got, all right? Now, when the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was affected by sihr, in order to get cured, they used all of the 11 ayahs of Surah Falaq and Nas were used to cure him. All of that was to break up the knots in the ring, okay? So likewise, we use all of them. We use all of Surah Falaq and all of Surah Nas, okay? To treat whatever you have. We don't just stick to some ayahs and they keep repeating that same ayahs, you know? What I found, I used to do that. There was a time when I was just doing it like that, but I found it's best to do it like this. Okay? From my personal experience and seeing other people, this is the best way of doing it. So what you do, before you start Surah Falaq and Nas, you make dua to Allah Ta'ala to cure you, and you ask Allah to cure you from all of the sihr. Yeah? You ask Allah to cure you from all of the ain you're suffering from. You ask Allah to cure you from all of the jinn possession you have. But Nas, all of it, get rid of it all, Ya Rabbi. Yeah? And you ask Allah to get rid of all of the waswas you have. Get rid of it all, Ya Rabbi. Yeah? Okay? So you make it, and this is going to be your intention as well when you start. Yeah? And you ask Allah. We can cover this. Oops. Let me go back. There's one other ruqya which I didn't talk about. I talked about sihr before here, yeah? But there's one other thing I didn't mention, subhanAllah. It was burning the jinn. There's another ruqya you do to burn the jinn. Okay, when you read on something, the best one to use is maybe Ayatul Kursi. You just keep reading, burn the jinn, and then they just die, yeah? Burning the jinn like that, yeah? Different names, sometimes I call it kill, sometimes I call it destroy. It's anyway, just burning the jinn until they die, you know? Basically, yeah? So that's another ruqya you can do, yeah? So, and it works, alhamdulillah, we trust in Allah, you keep reading like that, Allah will kill the jinn. Yeah? It does kill him, alhamdulillah, yeah? So, now you know you've got all four, so you ask Allah to cure from all the sihr, you ask Allah to cure from all the ayn, ask Allah to cure from all the mas, and you ask Allah to cure from the waswas. Then you also ask Allah to burn all the jinns inside you, which are affecting you, and also burn all the jinns around you, which are affecting you as well. Okay? Burn the jinn outside, around your body, around you like this, which are affecting you. Okay? And also to burn all that which is part of the sihr, which is outside your body, which you can't get hold of. Okay? Like the ta'weez. Remember, this thing you're connected, this from what I've looked at from my experience, it's a system out there. Alright? What I like to call that the sihr network is a system which they've got out there to affect you. Alright? Now, I was doing this ruqya for a long time. So I was doing every sihr, when I added this thing in, Ya Allah, destroy all the jinns outside my body as well, which are affecting me, and everything else what they've got out there, which things, I know if we get that ta'weez and we got that thing, we start breaking it up, I would react to it. In fact, we don't know where that thing is. You start breaking it up, you know, alright? We break that thing up, it would get destroyed, and you'll see the person, so there's some sort of connection between them. Yeah, there's a connection. So what you do, you ask Allah, Allah just destroy the whole lot. Destroy the lot, and that's what I did, okay? And I've tried this on another patient. You see what happens when you do this, subhanAllah, alhamdulillah, the sahid gets affected. The sahid gets affected. You know? And what happens, the jinn, they go attack the sahir. That's what I've seen from my experience. If you just add this intention. Now imagine if we all did this. Everybody just Allah, destroy everything outside my body. The jinns, because remember some of these, they don't like what they're doing, they don't like this job. And remember, the sahir, before anything, me doing this intentional, the jinns already attack them anyway, because they hate them. They attack them now again. So we find that maybe their wives get miscarriages. You know, they're getting attacked regularly by jinn anyway. But when you do it like this, you attack the jinn get angry. They don't get really angry with you. And I've seen one sihr just say, "Are you angry with me?" "No, I'm not angry with you." You're angry usually with the sahir who sent them there and doing all these things, yeah? They will go back and they go attack the sahir. And I've had a case where we were doing ruqya, I did this intention, because after seeing the benefits, this is one of the things that made me better very quickly. 3 hours of just doing this ruqya, it seemed like I felt the difference, that this cut off. I said, subhanAllah, I feel different. Like the sihr had gone, but then I realized the thing was still there. Then I did find out where it was, I did some hijama, and alhamdulillah, I took the thing out. But breaking those connections to this thing, it doesn't have any support, no guardians and stuff like this. Breaking it all off, and just isolate the thing, and just deal with it there, on its own. Much better when you break it all off, it doesn't have any support. What happens, the jinn seem to go attack that, they go attack the side. I did this to one brother, what I was doing on him, they said to me, we think it's an auntie who did it on him. I said, okay. The brother said, yeah, I've had contact with this auntie for a pretty long time. I said, okay. So I said, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read on him, Allah, burn and destroy the jinns inside him. And the sihr, destroy all the ayn. I just made a lot of intention, destroy the waswas, get this, get this. And Ya Allah, destroy everything outside his body, which is connected to this poor brother. Destroy it all, Ya Rabbi, destroy it all with Ayatul Kursi, just destroy it. I think I used Ayatul Kursi until the last of the ayah. So I just did intention, and we did that. As soon as I did it, within 2 to 3 minutes, the auntie starts contacting them. Missed calls, I think they were getting messages and stuff like this. This woman's not been in touch with us for a long time. I said, what's that? She's contacting us. I said, who's contacting you? That woman, the auntie. She's not contacted for a long time. I said, yes, good. You're probably right, she's the sahib. She's probably getting attacked by jinns and that. She's feeling something. She's feeling something, you know. So, it's important, just doing this thing. And it's, remember, Ruqya is a dua. I mean, you can make that dua, can't you? Oh, Allah, destroy the ta'wil. I don't know where it is, please destroy that thing. Nobody can tell you, so, what are you doing? You shouldn't be asking Allah that thing. What's wrong with that? You can ask Allah that. Destroy these things, you know. Because Ruqya is basically a dua, you know. Once you do that, imagine if we all did this, the Muslims all did this, because we're affected by sihr a lot. There's a lot of us with it. If we all did this, Ya Allah, destroy everything outside my body. Not just make it localized. Destroy everything out, internally and externally, Ya Rabbi. Destroy the whole thing. When you do this, I'm telling you, if we all did it, we maybe send all those jinns back to those sahib. It will cause chaos amongst them. And we might find out, oh, so-and-so's dead. So-and-so's been attacked. So-and-so's dead. Good. Causes all these problems for the Muslims. And you find there's a lot of Muslims. So if we imagine just doing this intention, inshallah, we'll take it back, let it go back to them. You know? Okay. So I told you, what do we say? We said, when you're making that treatment, every sihr, every ayn, every mas, every waswas, all the jinn, burn all the jinn inside me, burn all the jinn outside my body, Ya Rabbi, and destroy this, what this sahib has done to me. Everything which is affecting me regarding sihr, destroy, burn it all, yeah? Now what you do, with those intentions, you read sort of falaq and nas. So, what I used to do it like this. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق. And I'll read it as a pair, 3. And when I come to the end, then wipe myself, then start another 3. So the pair of 3, yeah? Falaq nas, falaq nas, falaq nas, then like this, wipe yourself, alright? And you wipe yourself, like that. Now you can do that, keep doing that as much as you can. You know, if it's too difficult for you, do a little bit in the morning, do a bit in the evening, and then 3 times a day, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Just keep doing it like that, keep it up. What you could do as well, now you change the water. You can add, don't lose your water, add them all together. Read on the water. Read on water with all these intentions, read it and drink it. And bath with the water. Bath with the water, yeah? And what I used to do is also keep water with me. So wherever I am, I've always got a bit of water with me. When I'm having dinner, or when the water goes halfway down, fill it back up again. So it just fills up again, you know? And whenever I was drinking anything, milk, Pepsi, Coke, whatever, I just make my intention, just once maybe because, you know, people are around and what is he doing, you know? So maybe you just do a quick falaq and nas in the water, in your Pepsi or your Coke, and that's it, and you just drink it, you know, and you wonder what's going on, you know? Okay, one thing I want to cover now is the signs of a jinn dying in your body. Okay, what the signs are? From experience? loss of memory. So when the jinn dies, so the person there, they feel a bit like this, and then the jinn has died basically. What happens sometimes they get memory loss, so they lose a bit of memory, and then they don't know where they are. I mean, they know their mother and father and stuff, but they won't know, maybe they've lost some memory. But when they go to sleep and get up in the morning, it all comes back to them. It's only temporary memory loss, okay? It's only temporary memory loss. Also, maybe temporary eyesight goes for a little bit when a jinn dies. Yeah. This one could also happen. I've not seen that, I've not even heard of it, but it's possible. Why not? The hearing goes. Well, your hearing might go. Yeah. So be aware of these sort of things happening. Okay. When you get rid of when you find it, maybe when you're reading on yourself like this, it might be that the sihr goes, but then check yourself with the ayn and the other stuff as well. So okay, if I feel a bit different, maybe the sihr is gone now. Then keep checking, you know. And the way you know that you're cured is that when you get negative results for the thing. Okay, when you get negative results. Now I didn't know I was cured until I did it for kept on checking myself for about 8 to 10 days. Kept on checking, you know, proper good checks, you know. So I'd say, yeah, the thing is definitely gone, alhamdulillah. So you've got to do like this, the same thing there, yeah? And what you could do, you can intensify it. So what you do, that water you got there, put the water inside here, put your feet inside, right, like this. So your feet are inside, and you do that same ruqya as well, get your reference point and all that with this inside, because it's more intense now, with this your feet inside in the basin, yeah? So that's more intense, to check for it. So you might find that when you might find that, okay, the sihr might have gone, but you might find that the ayn and something might be still there, so keep doing the ruqya until you get rid of that. If you do find that there's a jinn, so maybe when you did the ruqya and you find that your arm was shaking like this, okay, you can say, look, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can talk to it, you know what I mean? Don't obviously do this on your own. You don't want to go do this in front of people and stuff like that, people, you know, but when you're on your own, maybe when you talk to you know, you can give da'wah. And what you find sometimes, okay, like, okay, when you do ruqya, okay, I know you're there now. You came from sihr, didn't it? Fear Allah. How many of you inside this body? We know you're there. They start reacting like this. Yeah. As you're talking to it, you might even going to get angry with it sometimes. Fear Allah, I'm going to embrace Islam, give it a little bit of da'wah, maybe asking him, embrace Islam, break your contract, if it's a sihr, break your contract, ask Allah to help you get out, because the sihr jinns are stuck inside that body, your body. So you ask Allah, look, if you fear Allah, Allah Ta'ala will help you, and you can get out. Embrace Islam, fear Allah, there's a day of judgment, give it a bit of da'wah, but don't overdo it with these jinns. Don't go in there having a conversation, how many of you in there? Do you your ice cream? Do you like Coke? Don't go into these sort of things. Avoid all this sort of long talking and stuff like this. Keep it basic. Look, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a day of judgment. I didn't do anything to you. Why are you hurting me for? Did I do anything to you? That one gets them as well. That one really gets them when they say, did I do anything to you? So they know you haven't done anything to them. So why are you hurting me for? Alright? So then you ask them, don't blame me now, I'm going to do my ruqya. I'm going to do my ruqya. If you get dying, you burn, you die in this body, you get disabled, don't come back to me. I free myself from this. So you tell them this. And then you carry on doing your ruqya. Okay, that last point there is just like, okay, like I said, I just explained this. You know that you're cured is that when you get no reaction, reference point is the same as the end point, no difference between the two, yeah? And you can do that for a couple of days until you're satisfied. All right? And remember, you can intensify, you keep looking for this thing, okay? Okay, no way to do it. Like I was saying, if you do that thing where maybe you read on, oh Allah destroyed everything outside my body, it might be that you only need, when I did that, it's about 3 hours of ruqya I did that for, and I felt the difference. So something has happened, what's happened? And then I checked myself, oh, I was doing that ruqya. What did I do? Oh, I did that. So I realized that thing is effective. I said, subhanAllah, it worked for me. Alright? So it made a big difference. But the thing didn't escape, because I had battered it already, alhamdulillah, by ruqya. So what I had to do was find out where the thing was, did some ruqya, find out where it was, and I took it out by doing hijama. And I took it out like that. Okay, I took it out with hijama. So, it might be that if you just found out you've got it, and you've not done any ruqya on yourself before, so it's the first time you're starting, maybe within 3 hours, you might find that the thing might even jump out of your body and it's gone. That might happen. Because you're going to feel that difference when you don't feel you're connected to say, I feel different. You're going to feel it. You say, look, I feel a bit different, you know? Okay, I'm going to skip breaking the ta'weed. I think people usually know how to do that anyway, because I'm just running out of time now. Okay, when you find it, when you got, when you know that somebody's has done ayn on you, and you're quite sure you're not going to be guessing or something like that, you got that, and you know that that person gave you ayn, and they're giving you the water, you ask them to do wudu, and you get their water, that wudu water which they've collected for you. You basically stand in the bath, and you pour it over your back. You pour it over your back, try to get a jug and pour it over your back. What you should do actually is put the plug inside, because you might not be able, you might not cut all the places on your back, you might have missed something. Put the plug in the bath, and then lie in that bath. You might have to add a bit more water in there from the bath, more water, and then lie in that bath. Lie in that bath, okay? You want to lie in that bath, and that you might be free. When you're in there, you might actually see yourself shaking a little bit in there if you've got a jinn there as well. What you could do as well is take some garments of the person as well and let them soak in there, and then do the same. So then we'll do water in their garments and then lie in that. And I found that to be more effective. Okay. Sometimes the person might not want to give you their stuff, and you might find that you find something of theirs, and then some of their garments, and you get some benefit from them, because really they're supposed to give you the stuff anyway, but sometimes they don't give it to you. Also, sometimes what you find is that one person I know did this, is that, like, you know, the door handles and stuff like this, where these people were, got a wet tissue, wiped it. Where this person was, yeah, wiped the places where this person was, and then got those tissues, put it in the water, and then bathed in that, and they got some relief. They got some relief from there, you know. Okay. Another thing which we want to go into, when you do your ruqya and you want to, like I said, you can read on water. You can also read on what I basically call the ruqya suit. Right? You bath in this and you can drink this as well. Okay, make sure you drink this fresh though. Obviously, basically this is what this is in here. This is something. Can you see something? Can you see that? So, this ganji stuff here. Huh? What this is sidr. This is and I'll tell you what's all in there. Yeah? What we got in here. Yeah? Now these ingredients, the jinn are affected by these things before you do ruqya on this thing. So Zamzam water. Before you do ruqya on the Zamzam water, just give it to the patient, put it in his mouth, tell him to hold, and start shaking. Zamzam water affects them before even the ruqya is done on it. Yeah. Senna leaves, like this stuff here. Yeah? They hold it in their mouth, they start reacting to it already. No ruqya is done on it. They don't like the stuff. Sidr leaves, which are here, been grinded up. Yeah. They start reacting to that. Ajwa dates, it's in their mouth, start reacting. Fennel seeds, yeah. What you Pakistanis call it? Sof, is it sof? Is it sof? You know what it is? You know any Pakistanis here? Yeah. Sof, is it Urdu sof, isn't it? Yeah. Sof, isn't it? Yeah, that. They don't like that. They hate that. Yeah. Cumin seeds, jeera, I think. Cumin seeds is jeera, yeah. They don't like the jeera. Just holding it in your mouth, you find that the jinn starts reacting. Table salt, sea salt, also honey. Black seed, you know, black seeds, they don't like that. Pistal Hindi, which is, I think they call it Indian costus, I think it's called. This Pistal Hindi, yeah. What was it? Olive oil, they don't like olive oil. Black seed oil, barley flour, talbina, this one here, barley flour, yeah. All right. I had someone who used to have this for breakfast. That doesn't do anything. What are you talking about? I said, okay, you try it. And this person possessed. They put it in their mouth, held it for about 5 seconds, they vomited and all of that, yeah? So it does have a big effect, yeah? Dried figs, same thing. Camel's milk, surprisingly, okay? Black oil, I didn't try the camel's urine. I just leave it as camel's milk, all right? Black olives, okay, black olives, green olives, cider vinegar, malt vinegar, caraway seeds, cinnamon powder, aniseed seeds, aniseed, yeah. So you find even licorice, all sorts. That gives you a reaction. So maybe you can give that to a kid. You see, you give that to a kid, you start seeing the kid shaking a bit and stuff. The kid's got jinn, yeah. Red chili, yeah, red chili powder, natural henna powder. Natural henna powder, that's all gives problems as well. Coriander seeds, peanut butter as well, smooth peanut butter, yeah. Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be sun-packed peanut butter, okay, alright. Also, miswak, you find a miswak, just hold the miswak in their mouth, start getting a reaction, you know. So this thing, you're supposed to bathe in it, read that Ruqya the same with all those intentions, read the Ruqya in there, bathe in it, take a teaspoon of that, add it to a litre of water and drink it as well. Okay? But obviously watch out for the allergies, if you've got any allergies and stuff like that. Another thing which you could do is also just getting normal black seeds. The black seeds, the habatasoli, you take that in your mouth, chew it, and as if you're trying to take the juices out of it, and swallow that. The jinns don't like that sort of juice coming out of it, you know. What you could also do with this Ruqya soup thing is you take some of it and you add it to olive oil. So when you come out of the bath, you've got some sort of rub to put on. Put this little tablespoon in or a bottle of olive oil, shake it, and then you take some of that and you put it on your body, and then you go to sleep with that. Okay. What time's Maghrib? 5 to 5 okay. Alright, another thing here. How to use the fork, okay? Yes, this fork here, all right? What you do here, if you're in doubt, if you're possessed or not, okay, you're wondering, or you want to punish the jinn inside, you want to give it, maybe when you're giving it dawah, you've got to leave this body, you've got to leave this body. You put the fork here, just the way your hairline is. I've got no hair, okay, but you've got to put the fork here, just here where your hairline starts, and just a little pressure there. You find that when you do that, the jinn doesn't like it. Yeah, and I've done it to a lot of people and the jinn hates it. Really painful for the jinn. Just put that little fork there, just there. So what you do, what's your name? How many of you in here? Are you going to leave this body? I had one case yesterday where I give this talk and I'm giving the talk like this. The guy's freaking out over here. I said, wait, I'm trying to give a talk. I'm going to get you. So there's complete manifestation. In the end, the guy's disturbing the talk so much, I said, okay, bring him over here. Got him over there, put the fork on him. Are you going to disturb the talk? No? Okay, you calm down. After that, he calmed down. So the next time he tried to do it again, he says, do you want the fork? Shut up. So it affects them, you know. It affects them, they don't like it, you know. Some of them, when you bring it, you show it to them like that, they start crying. They start crying. Yeah? So this thing, what you could do with this is that maybe you want to check yourself. Say, well, I still got that jinn in me. And you do the Ruqya, you don't know. Okay, what you do, make it intense. So you do, remember, this is mass Ruqya now. You want to check if there's a jinn there. It's not like jinn's there. I still got jinns inside me. You put the feet in there with the water, right? And you put that there as well, and you do the Ruqya on yourself. You do the Ruqya. Remember, you've done all that other part. You drank the water, you put it on your arm like that, yeah? You drank it. Now you want to make it a bit more intense. You put this here. You put this here and you read on yourself. You do the Ruqya, yeah? Min al-jinnati wan nas, min al-jinnati wan. You keep repeating, see if you can see that jinn, yeah? Another thing, which we found very useful is this thing, the lasers. So, subhanAllah, they don't like it. What is it? Start shaking with this, even through like, we've done things like through plastic and through the clothes even the wall, subhanAllah. Guys there, you do that and then it's jumping around, doesn't like it, subhanAllah. So this thing is really good for you when you're treating yourself, right? I actually used one of these when I was treating myself. Just did like this, reading my Ruqya and just doing this to myself. Just doing this to myself, you know, just reading like that. Maybe drinking my water, you know. Maybe sometimes I'll have this, I'll put the soup inside there, put my feet inside, and just do like this, reading this, you know, reading like that. Sometimes I'll make it worse for them and punish them. Do like that, doing this, you know. Yeah, good, huh? And then keep reading like that, falaq and nas like this, you know. So you can intensify it like that, you know. Another thing which you might find useful is this thing here, the aromatherapy. This thing here. Now, like you said to you, the jinn don't like zamzam, okay, naturally. They also don't like oud. You know oud? This thing here, you know that? You know, our sisters, our wives don't like it, you know that one. You know, they put it the one the wives don't like it, but we love it, yeah? That one, yeah? You put zamzam water in here, and you put a few drops of that in there, yeah? And you read to burn the jinn, right? The intention to burn the jinn, yeah? Ayatul Kursi and Afahasibatu in there. And you can put your spit in there as well, yeah? Put that on, yeah? And put that in your bedroom, or in your house somewhere like that. Let that go round, yeah? That will give problems to the jinns inside the house, you know? Maybe they'll leave, or give them problems. Even the one which is inside you, you breathing that in, they don't like it, you know? Another thing, yeah, the adhkar, okay, when you, it's important when you, obviously when you see someone and they impress you and they've got nice clothes, somebody's got nice clothes and they're looking very nice, you just say, Allahumma barak alayk to him. So you don't give him the evil eye. It's very important. Don't just say, MashaAllah. Unfortunately, many people just say, MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. No, and they don't say, Allahumma barak alayk. You've got to say that bit, you know. That bit's got to be in there as well. You know, Allahumma barak alayk. You know, that has to be said. You know. And you must believe that the adhkar is going to work. So you do it, get your Hisna Muslim, even in adhkar and morning adhkar. You have to believe that it works. That the jinn are not going to attack you and stuff like this. If you are doubt with these things, then it's mishkila. It's a problem. You have to really put in yaqeen, this is going to work. You know? And then, you know, we notice from the Sunnah it works, so you say and you get protection, inshallah. So you must keep up your protection. You must do the adhkar when as soon as you know you got this. And unfortunately, what we found is that many people don't do this adhkar even in the morning. Subhanallah. As Khalid, where is it? As Khalid once said to me, it's like people are going around naked. And instead he said, I said, you're right. It's like people are going around naked. You're going around naked and it's like people giving you ayn, jinns, you're going around naked. Now, we won't ever do that, walk around, but it's like that. If you don't do this adhkar, that's why it's the reason that we've got to do this evening and morning adhkar. You know? Okay, last point here. Okay, we've also found, coming to the last points here, we've also found that there's a relation between allergies and especially skin allergies and ayn and stuff. So maybe you've got asthma and stuff like that. When you start the ruqya, you're going to find that your skin problems, I had 2 cases like that yesterday. Skin problems, one was from sihr, it looked like, a bit of ayn was there from what I remember. Was it ayn? I don't know, well, anyway, definitely was sihr there. Another one had bad, so skin problems, we sort of find that allergies, ayn, you know, it's usually ayn there, you know. When you end up doing the ruqya, alhamdulillah, it sort of clears up. You sort of like getting cleared up, you know. Eczema and acne and all of these sort of things, you know. Okay. Usually the ayn is going to hit you if, for instance, if there's somebody they like your hair, then you find your hair's going to start dropping out. If they like your skin, then you end up getting acne and eczema and stuff like this, you know. That thing, your particular thing you like, then they'll hit you. There was another, it could also, the ayn could hit you where you find out, I know there was one brother, he was 15 years old, as soon as he became of age, first row, leave the home early, get to the masjid 5 times, pray in the masjid. Now somebody obviously, some people got impressed with this thing. Now this person is unfortunately at home, and I think I've got to go see that person. He's been hit with anger because people are, and he usually said, people are impressed, and that's what the mother was and the family saying there. People are impressed that the guy, you know, is in the masjid first row. Oh, and now people are, I want my son to be here as well. How come my son's not here? How come you're here? That's up to Allah, isn't it? You know, we really have to be careful when we see these sort of things, when you see things in children and stuff like that. Say, alhamdulillah, oh, I want my, you know, especially with children, you might hit them with the ayn and the jinn just goes in and stays in there, you know? You know? And I find a lot of children have got ayn, you know? Most of the children I've checked, ayn. And there's a jinn inside there as well. So our children have to be checked, you know? Okay, just a little bit here. Obviously, when you've got to do a lot of your ruqya. When you've broken all those connections from the outside of your body, so you find that you've isolated your jinn, you're going to feel that difference when that goes off you. You're going to feel it, inshallah ta'ala. You will feel the difference. Then what you do then, try to look for the jinn over here, in your heart area. That's one place you should look. Yeah. Also, when we put that sunnah point at the back there. Yeah. But what I found out to my one, it soon got disabled this and ended up in this place here. Okay, and then I put hijama cups in and I took it out like that, you know. So when you find it, okay, what's this? Okay, okay. Now, okay, quickly, last point what I'm going to get into is the psychological attack. You're going to get attacked psychologically when you start Ruqya, okay? The first thing what I found what they do is a lot of, this is just general, again, like with the list of symptoms and that. This is general, you're going to get, they make their attack specific for you. Okay, that's what they're going to do basically. They make the attack specific for you usually, okay? Alright? Because they know you're inside, they see what you do and they get up to and all of that. They know what you're doing, yeah? Alright? So they know your history and stuff. They try to make the attack look natural. It's like your own self, basically, yeah? So one of the first things they do is try to tell you, it's general, everybody usually gets this one. Oh, it's getting worse, this thing. I shouldn't have started this Ruqya. Maybe I should have just left it. One of the first things they do. No, carry on doing it. Don't listen to that. Alright? The jinn are getting worried inside you, running around. They know their time is limited. So if they've got to make a divorce happen, they're going to rush now, okay? They're going to rush around and try and get that thing done. Alright? You've got to ignore that, carry on doing your Ruqya. Don't stop. Okay, the other thing what they do, the most disgusting thing they do is they try to stop you praying. And how they stop you praying, and some people actually have stopped praying with this, they put a feeling in you that, I don't feel like praying, I feel like sad, depressed, that enjoyment when you hear Quran, sometimes you cry and stuff. They get rid of all of that. So they're playing with your feelings and stuff. So then you think this is yourself. You feel sad and you don't want to pray anymore like this. Then what they do, they turn around and they say, in your mind, it's all happening in your mind. It's not no voices and stuff. It's all happening in your mind. See, look at you. And you're munafiq. Look at this, you don't even feel like praying. Look how evil you are. What kind of Muslim are you? And then it's like as if you're talking to yourself. The jinns are always talking to you in your own sort of voice, in your own. They're not talking in another voice. Somehow it happens, but usually what they just all feel is, man, must be munafiq. Look at me. I'm getting this feeling. I want to pray. Okay, maybe it's better I don't pray then. No, you pray. Even if you've got all those horrible feelings in you and stuff like that, you don't feel it, and you can't even feel the prayer, just pray, inshallah, I will give you a lot of reward for that. You're praying and you're like feeling like this and you're still praying, it's more rewardful, inshallah, than the person who hasn't just, nothing. You're fighting and you're praying, inshallah, you get more reward, So beware of that one. They turn around, put the feeling in you, feeling like a munafiq, and then they turn around and say to you, look, you munafiq,
It's just adhan.
Oh, they're there now? Okay. Okay, the question and answers just after. I could have just 2 more minutes. Briefly, one other thing that happens is that when you start doing your Ruqya, you start getting some strange feelings, all right? For instance, one brother will do Ruqya on, and then next thing he knows is, brother, I'm getting strange feelings for little boys and stuff like this. What's going on? I said, okay, ignore that feeling. It's not you. They're just playing games with you because they want you to go mad or something. Yeah. So just ignore those feelings what they put in. And what they try and do, obviously, when they're inside you and stuff, they try to make the feeling like it's natural, it's you, this is you, you're an evil person, look what kind of feelings you've got. You want to do this, you want to drink some alcohol, and they put this in you. Ignore all of those things, just carry on doing your Ruqya. Another thing what you do is that, what you should do is, what I call basically the so what, bro. When they put these feelings into you, alhamdulillah, I'm alright. You carry on going on and smiling, you don't stop for them. Yeah? Don't worry about what they do, because sometimes maybe your wife will upset you and they'll put at that particular moment, they're opportunistic, you see. So what happens, your wife burns your food. Okay, you're going to get a bit upset, maybe you're hungry, worked all day, a little bit upset. But what they do, the jinns, at that particular moment, they make it worse for you, they intensify it. So you say, this is your right, you should be angry. Yeah? And you feel it. So, and you start arguing with the wife over these sort of things. What you got to do, control yourself, say, alhamdulillah. The food's burnt? Good. So that's what you do. That's how you get back at them. That's how you only get back at them by doing this sort of thing, fighting like this, and doing Ruqya on yourself. So you just ignore their games, what they want to do. Like this, So that's what you do. You just forget what they're doing. And if sometimes something happens, like somebody's mother dies, they will try and put suicidal thoughts inside you. And they'll try and make you feel like, well, it's only natural that you're going to feel suicidal, isn't it? Because your mother just died. No. I shouldn't feel suicidal. No. Ignore it. Ignore these feelings, The last point what I want to do, say, is the spouses obviously need to work with each other. When they find that they've both got possession in the gym, they should work with each other. So when the food does get burnt, so then she should turn around and say, I burnt the food. They say, and she says, how are you feeling? Yeah, I'm feeling it, Yeah, then you got to ignore it. That's right. How are you feeling? Yeah, I want to fight with you as well. But you don't want to burn the food. Yeah? So you got to look and you play with you, and you find maybe what they did, they want you to split. You see, they made the sihr to make you split, but you could make, Allah can turn it around and you make something to make you come together with your wife. So you have something to talk about. You work with each other. How are you feeling now? Oh, you're angry with me now? Why are you angry? And you have that sort of conversation with your wife. So inshallah ta'ala, it ends up being something good for you, the sihr. Yeah? Okay. Inshallah, we'll pray in that, inshallah ta'ala. Yeah? Before we start the questions and answers, I just, something I forgot. Before you start your diagnosis, what you should do, you should remove all jewellery. Rings, sisters should remove all jewellery, brothers should remove watches and rings, yeah? And sisters also, what they should do is remove, what do you call those? Hats. Under all the hair bands and all that, under all the hair, so the hair's just naturally down, yeah? It's not tied up or in, was it ponytail or plaits, isn't it? Is it plaits? Plaits, isn't it? Yeah, under all of those plaits and stuff like that, yeah. And your brothers, if you've got some brothers, alhamdulillah, have long hair. I have no hair, but brothers have some long hair, yeah? All that's let it all out, yeah? It's all nice and just hanging down, yeah? Okay. Can we just answer some of these questions first of all? What about when you're doing certain... These are questions for some sisters, I think. What about when you're doing certain things in life and feel like you're being blocked from it? Could that be because of sihr, jinn related? Yes. You need to look at it, you know. It could be just natural. I mean, Allah doesn't want something for you to happen. You know when you do istikhara and Allah blocks something from you, buying a car or something, that could be natural. It could be what Allah doesn't want this thing to happen to you. But it also because something's through of sihr. So, but how do you know? That's it. That's the whole point of this diagnosis. Work out what you've got, you see. That's the whole point of diagnosis. You're only going to definitely know what's going on with it is when you do sihr. You know, when you do sihr diagnosis. And that's what I did. When I had my problem, Abdul Qadir, I said, look, I've got some of these issues I'm having, brother. And he told me the same sort of thing here, but I've just made a little bit changes to it. Same sort of thing, get the water, read it, and tell me what happens. And I told him, and then he told me, there's something there, you see. So you have to actually do the diagnosis. Then you can say that you've got something or not. Yeah. Next one. What if you have certain presence around you, and when you recite, but your memory goes all blank? What could that be? That could be jinn inside you. It could be maybe the memory going blank, maybe that's a jinn inside you, maybe. Yeah? It also would be the presence around you, and maybe you've got the guardians around you. You might even see them sometimes. You might see, look, what you see is like little black things flying over like that. And like from the corner of your eye, you see something like, what was that? Like a little fly. It looks like a big fat fly though, right? And it's going past you very fast. Yeah, you see that sort of thing. That's like guardian. So you might feel those things near you, right, in your presence. Yeah. So that's why it's important to read the last 2 ayahs of Surah Baqarah in your house every day to keep the jinns out of your house. And this hadith is in Tirmidhi. Yeah, keep reading it out. Keep these jinns out. Yeah, keep the jinns out of your house. If you feel stressed and depressed 24/7, and you're struggling in salah now, and you tie yourself from everyone, what could this be? And is that looking? What's that? Tie yourself?
Yeah, tie yourself.
Seclude yourself from everybody, basically. Yeah, that's another sign. It could be a sign of something like that. It could be a sign of something. So that's why when you've got all these strange things, because I don't know, we're Muslims, we're not supposed to have any of these sort of things, really. You know, when you're trying to keep it away, you want to keep away from people and stuff like that. Strange things, you know. You go to somebody's house, it's all dirty, room is filthy, dirty. There's some issues here, you know. So when it's like this and you're depressed 24/7, I mean, I used to be angry. I don't even know what I was angry about. I said, I'm angry, but I don't know what it was. Until, alhamdulillah, it was a jinn inside me doing that, you see. So, stress, when you don't know what you're stressed for, it could be also what they do sometimes, these jinn, they actually do, like I said, they're opportunistic, they try to hide, so you think it's all natural. You don't think it's natural, you see, so you get depressed and angry, you know, the car in front of you, what he parked in front of you, you overreact, you know, car rage, you know, it's road, that's road rage. So you start reacting, it's too much of a reaction. What you do know sometimes is that, you know how you were before, and then you get all these changes and you see, there's something dodgy going on here. That's a sign that you need to do the diagnosis, you know. Do this diagnosis to see that you might have something, you know. And it might just be that, you know, you might have wasawis, just waswas, a lot of waswas in you. So you find, like I said to you before, you do Self Ruqya, nothing. Ayn, there's nothing there. Jinn, there's no jinn in there. All they've got is this waswas. Phobias and their panic attacks. They're scared of flying in planes. They're scared of the police, like I said to you. All of these sort of things, you know. they have all these little problems and they're always stressed and stuff like this, you know. It might be that they see something and they don't like it. Like for instance, I'm wearing green today. So I mean, for instance, somebody who wore green like this did something to somebody. So whenever this person sees somebody wearing green, they feel something. They feel something, so, you know, because something happened to them when they were younger, maybe child abuse or something like this, maybe women being raped and stuff like that. They see something and they get affected like that. Yeah. So that might be just waswas. But when they do the ruqya, alhamdulillah, it goes away. Next thing, what is ayn? What is sihr? Well, ayn is something where the person, there's two types of ayn. Ayn muta'ajjib and basically ayn hasan. Ayn from envy and ayn, what's it? So ayn is something where if the person envious of something or if they're amazed at something happens. So jinn could give this to you as well, where the eye affects you. The person even could be blind and it affects you, you know, hits you and then and it damages your body. And through this damage, what could happen sometimes is that the jinn follow it up. So the person looks at you like something with it, and then the jinn follow this beam of whatever it is coming out of you, and it goes into them, and they follow it up and go inside. And that's how the jinn get inside. Alright? Or it could be just the person just looks at you and it's just damaging you with the ayn. So you're all damaged. You're walking out in the streets, the jinns, they're flying around, they see this, you're damaged. What they do, they jump inside. And then they squat inside. They're like squatters and they go inside you. So they didn't initially come with that beam going in with it, but they've come in afterwards with it. And like I said to you, sometimes the sihr jinn, when they want to come to you, they've been sent by the magician to you, the sahib. They come to your body, they look at you, so I need to get into this body. Well, the guy's already damaged with the ayn. Easy, just going through there, instead of waiting for him to yawn, waiting for him to get stressed and stuff like this, yawning or anything like that, just going through there, you know. And that's why the sihr jinn, some jinn who comes from sihr will react to ayn ruqya. The sihr basically is something where the person maybe wants to marry somebody, wants to get somebody divorced, they go to a sahib. Sahib basically worships the jinns and devils, and it's basically a contract, okay, where the jinns are working for the sahib, basically cries this as and they set up a contract where the person who maybe wants to break up your marriage. It's all just kufr and shirk basically. Alright? But that's something which is specifically done for you, this contract, to break you up. And it's a contract between the sahib and the jinns, yeah, to split your marriage up or to cause problems for you, business or whatever, yeah, to kill you even, you know. There's a lot of types of stuff which they can do on you. So that's what basically that is. So they're completely different. You know? So most people have ayn rather than the sihr. Because sihr, you have to go and specify somebody, and they go to that person and they tie up the knots and they do something to those knots and they connect you up and then they send jinn to you, basically. Yeah? So that's basically the sihr. It's a contract between the sahib and the jinns. Yeah? All kufr and shirk involved there. The sahib often has to go through a load of kufr and shirk for the jinn to be pleased with, and then they're ready to do this sihr for you. You know? Okay, that's. Okay, yeah. The first problem was asked about the eyes, and so you can remember what we said about to look for sihr. It's ayah number 4 of Surah Falaq. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن شر النفاثات في العقد. Keep repeating that. That's ayah 4. For the ayn, it's going to be ayah 5 of Surah Falaq. To check for the waswas, and you know that waswas. It's أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن شر الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس. You repeat that one and the one before it as well, yeah? Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس. You keep repeating that one, yeah? So there's those two eyes for waswas. And then for the jinn possession, it's going to be min al-jinnati wan-nas. Min al-jinnati wan-nas. Like I said to you before, is that when you'll get a reaction when you say min al-jinnati wan-nas. That min al-jinnati wan-nas, that you find the jinn reacts to that. Min al-jinnati wan-nas. Min al-jinnati wan-nas. Yeah, so that's the one for the checking for jinn possession. And you will know if you're possessed is by doing those specific things. So you're specific. The reason why, one of the reasons we do this, make it specific, because you've got to know what they're doing. Because what we found is that when you're treating people, the ayn blocks the sihr treatment. So that's why you've got to know, when someone's got sihr, I've got to check for ayn now. And that's why we've done it in this particular order like this. Let's check for sihr first. So that's got sihr, and I'm going to check for ayn, because I need to know if you've got ayn, because if we know that is going to cause problems for us. Right? But if you do it like that as well, so if you got just treating sihr, that's why you mustn't just treat sihr. You must treat what you got. If you got ayn, just put it in there as well in your intentions, yeah? Because remember, if you just leave off this ayn and you don't know you got ayn, then it's going to cause problems for your treatment. And that's why maybe sometimes people end up having sihr for a long time, and you find out why you do ruqya for a long time, brother. Because maybe you got ayn and the ayn is blocking it, you know? Okay. Any questions from the brothers?
Yeah. If a brother basically suffers from nightmares, it's like he knows he's had this done or whatever, he has got a good idea. He suffers from nightmares constantly, and when he goes to sleep, he sees like what he believes to be the jinn messing around in there, like taking form of people. Wakes up, feels pain in his head and jaw aches, cold sweats, and all that sort of stuff. Even though he makes his adhkar, what's the best advice?
Well, if you sleep with wudu, sometimes what happens is that if you get up in the middle of the night, it's best to, what I've experienced, read Ayatul Kursi again, right? Read Ayatul Kursi, then go back to sleep. Don't just go back to sleep, you know? Make wudu again, then go back to sleep, yeah? Because what could happen, you get up and you don't read Ayatul Kursi again, then you might get attacked, you know? Is it also when the person's done it even in the morning adhkar?
No.
Done that as well? Well, what we found, there was one case where if the person's like wishy-washy on is it really going to protect them and stuff like this, we find there's a problem. That they find that it doesn't really, if you're doubting this is going to work, even with the ruqya you're doing, well, I don't think it's going to cure me, not me, I don't know if it's going to happen. If you're doubting like this, no, you should be firm with this and no, it will work, inshallah ta'ala. Allah will protect me through this. Then you will get protected. That could be the reason why that person might be suffering, you see. Getting these things because there's doubt, you might be feeling doubtful in this, and there's not really, no real belief in it, you see. And that's one experience we had. When they sort of believed in it, then it worked for them. In fact, there was one time where the jinn actually said, yeah, because you disbelieve, or because you were doubting. The jinn came up and speaking there, why are you here? And they said this because there's some doubt in the issue. There's some doubt in the issue, and that's why this is why they were not believing in it firmly enough, and that's why it's not working, you know, the adhkar, because you're not really believing in the adhkar itself.
Another question.
Yeah.
Is it also possible that a person who's done sihr to you knows exactly where you are in terms of living, keeps driving up and down the road and like giving you ayn, so basically the sihr can keep working, keep doing the ruqya, and then they come zap you again? Is that possible?
Well, it's possible. Will they keep doing the sihr on you?
Like, in terms of that, like the sihr is done, but they do like, because they need the portal, right?
Yeah, what they want to
they keep giving you nazar,
Oh,
so they drive up and down the road, and you keep spotting
Yeah,
the same person.
yeah. Some of these guys I know, I know once I had to do that, give you the ayn, they know what they're doing the ayn. Because they're jealous of you anyway. And then that's what it causes. So they might give you the ayn anyway, these guys. And they know that it's damaged you anyway, so it gives it easy for, and maybe if the old jinns will tell them that maybe there's nothing there, there's no ayn, it's difficult to get into this person. So they might look at you or something, give you the ayn, alright? And then, because our people will know for ayn, giving people ayn, you know? And sometimes some ulama say you have to lock these people up or keep them away from the society and stuff like that, because they cause a lot of damage to people, you know? So yeah, the sahib could give you the ayn, and then that same sahib could do the stuff to you, so make it, open you up for the jinn, and then hit you with it, you see? Yeah, possible. I won't say it's impossible. You know? But what you do, if you do your adhkar, inshallah, Allah will protect you. Don't worry about these things, you know? Yes, Prophet. So.
Yeah, when the same function is carried out by the sort of magician, what sort of ingredients is involved in actually sort of arranging it to be successful on the victim?
So, and what do they do?
They use form of ingredients, be it body parts or
Yeah, they use some of your clothing or some of your hair and your nails and stuff like this. And they get that together. Sometimes they don't even need any of that. If they're just going to send you the jinn itself, they won't need anything. From what I've seen, the case
what
where
do they use? I mean, what do people need to be aware of when actually maybe not?
yeah, your hairs and stuff. Be aware where you put these things. You see. So be careful where you just leave your hairs and and your clothes and stuff like lying around. Even some of your pictures. I've seen we caught one woman. She's got pictures of the person. Said this. So these guys are developing their stuff. So now before there was no photos, but now they're using photos of the person and they draw things. They get up some strange stuff. They use photos now, you know. So you have to be careful with all your personal belongings, you know. Don't leave your personal belongings out like, and when you let people in your house know who you're letting into your house, you see. Yes.
Sorry, to diagnose the problem of sale being done, to find out if you've got gym inside you, you have to keep on reading for 15-20 minutes to fill up what it lasts.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to you. Were you here at the beginning?
That's right.
Yeah.
I came with it.
You came a bit late, okay, maybe it's in the video. You keep repeating it until you're sure that you've got it, you see? Keep repeating that ayah. So if you've got the sihr, you keep repeating that ayah for, keep repeating. So you get your, and the important thing is here, is the reference point. The ruqya before, you hear when I talk about the reference point?
Yeah, well, when you see something.
No. Before you even start any of this stuff, before reading the water, you get your reference point. You work out, okay, this is my normal state before I start the ruqya. Okay, yesterday I had a bit of a headache anyway, so that I incorporate that into my reference point. I've got a bit of a pain here from my weightlifting. All right, so this is my normal state. I've got a little bit of pain here from yesterday because I was dehydrated and that headache, and this is my hurt my knee during weight training yesterday. So this is my normal state. Then you take the water, read on it and stuff. Then you take another reference, okay, this is how I feel now after drinking the water, when you've read on it, you know. And remember, the important thing here is the intention. You know, you're looking for sihr. It's sihr now. It's intention, that's how you're going to differentiate between what you've got, is that intention. Like I said before, is that when you read, you can read Surah Fatiha on someone with intention looking for sihr. And the person does no reaction. You immediately change the niyyah in your mind. It's not even not main dua, just change it in your mind. Okay, go and read now Fatiha for Ain. And the person starts reacting. All you've done is just that niyyah change in the mind, put in your mind, and they start reacting.
Sometimes you could need something to trigger it off as well. It's like, obviously the Quranic words are powerful, but it's probably one of those gyms that can withstand pain. And it's something obviously burning, but you're going to trigger it with the fork or something. You're going to do some trigger it even more to
bring it out to me. You want to intensify. Like I said, if you want to intensify it, so you've taken the water and you still don't think you've got a reaction. You've done your 15 minutes of reading that, thinking still a bit down. Okay, what you do? Put some water inside. Put some water inside there. Yeah, and then put it in there. Put your feet in there and try there. Inshallah, you ask Allah, Allah will show you to Allah. I've not had any case where people. If you ask and asking Allah, you're not running around trying to ask other people to do ruqya, and you want to say, Allah, I'm going to try and do it myself, please show me. Allah will show you, really. You sincerely ask Allah, Allah will show you. And when you do it, you must use water. Just plain water. Don't use Zamzam, because I said like that ruqya, so the Zamzam will react anyway. The jinns will react naturally from it, so you're going to get interference. Now what is that jinn come through? Is it come through sihr? Because when you take it, if you did that, if you did this with Zamzam, you drink it, all the jinn inside the body are going to start jumping around with it. If it's an angel, if it's one that came through yawning, it's a loves you. If it's a sihr jinn, they're all going to start playing up, so you won't get confused. It's going to mess up your confusion, because that love jinn is playing around in the stomach. You've got the sihr jinn who's playing around over here. You've got this one going around, so what is happening? You get interference. But if you just use normal water and try to make sure the water is room temperature, not too cold. Room temperature, and then you do it. Then you inshallah won't get no interference. Only if you start moving like that and it's sihr, with the sihr on it, the scene on it, sihr jinn, it's nothing else. It's nothing else. It's just the sihr jinn inside you.
I mean, sometimes cases where individuals have more than one jinns, how many the most can go into your body?
Don't worry about the number, it's a big number.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it could be a big number, it could be a big number. Sometimes it's not worth telling the people how many ringgit, because it's going to make them feel depressed. What, 752? You know? So you don't tell the people how many ringgit, just brother, just do it, do ruqya, and they will go inshallah ta'ala. You see? You know? I know someone has a problem. What's it?
We've got questions from the radio.
Okay, let me ask that brother, and then.
So my question is related to treating people. When you treat people, how can you diagnose which type of problem they have got? But by reciting, we came to know that he has some sort of problem. It's shivering or shaking or screaming or crying. But how can you make sure which type of problem? Do we need to follow the same procedure?
Yeah, you follow that same procedure. But okay, only do that. My advice, I'll give a sort of disclaimer at the beginning, if this is okay for doing it on yourself, but if you start doing it on other people, it might cause problems, you know. Okay, if you're responsible for your children and stuff, fine, and your wife, okay, or go outside that, you know, because what it is, you have to understand that if you got to start doing it on other people, the jinn might attack you. If you're a person who does your adhkar, your serious, you really want to help the Muslim, you don't know after money or something like this, then okay, maybe go ahead and help the people. But this particular talk, I'm not telling people to go do ruqya. What I've seen, some people are not serious about it and they're doing it for other reasons, jinn will come back and attack them, But for yourself, Allah doesn't burden you with something you can't handle. So if you've got a jinn inside you, Allah's just, what I've seen, Allah's just, so you can handle that jinn and you need to treat yourself. You treat yourself and your family and your own children and your wife, the man's responsible for this. Yes, you should. The man should be treating his own family. If every man treated his family, we don't need all these people doing ruqya and raqi, you know? We don't need it. We just need every man is doing his own family and himself. Khalas, it's finished. Because that man in every man is head of his household. Allah's not going to burden that man with something which is beyond him, some big fat jinn which he can't control. No, inshallah, you'll be able to control all the jinn in your house. You know? Because it's according to your level of iman. Allah is just. What I've seen, this is my experience, I've seen it. You know? Everybody can control it. When they find a, like I said, when the jinn manifests completely like this, that person he can control it. If he stops the sins and that, he can then control that jinn. Because Allah doesn't burden you with something you can't handle. You know? Wanted you to say something?
Yes, actually, the question is that is it not case that in most cases, like my experience shows, that basically people, they believe in jinns, and mostly people who are uneducated and who believe in many fairy tales, they think they are possessed by jinns, they believe that they have sihr on them, but in reality it's just they say this to themselves. Because I never saw in my life any communist which is possessed with jinn. And question is, does jinns only, do you know anybody who don't believe in jinns, who don't believe in sihr, and he is possessed by jinn, or somebody make magic on him? Or only this is because people believe and they are afraid so much that they just telling themselves that I have somebody made sihr on me, I have jinns on me, because basically he's losing his life, and he just tried to find excuse. And those people who don't believe, they never was affected by jinns or magic.
To be honest, Akhi, there might be cases where somebody is thinking, yeah, maybe it could be the only in their mind. Yes, possible. And when you check them, and there's nothing really there. You know, somebody, people could, they like the attention. You know, unfortunately, some people just like, they like to be, they like people to feel sorry for them and stuff like that. That might happen as well. Okay, might happen. But what I've seen from my experience, I'm just talking about my experience of seeing my people, friends and family. What I would say about 60 to 70% of the Muslims have got something. Because what it is, most of what happens, like, especially the ayn jinn, it'll just sit there, you don't know if it's there. Only when you do the ruqya for ayn, then it comes up. Or when you do the ruqya for checking for jinn, then it comes up. It's quite happy sitting there, not doing anything. You know? So, I'm just going by my friends and family. What, you? And you know, children, what I know, and family, friends. SubhanAllah, if this is like this one, and these are people who are praying, you know, beard, 5 times in the mosque, they're not drinking, they're not bad people, these are good people. You know? I said, if you're like this, then subhanAllah, what about the other people then? You understand, Akhi? So, you are got cases where some people are maybe paranoid and something like this, yes. But what we say is, dude, diagnose yourself. Here's the stuff, I've just showed you what you do, and that's how you work out what you got, you know? The main thing is the niyyah, is the intention, what you're looking for, what you're asking Allah to. When you do this, you're looking for sihr, looking for ayn, looking for mas, looking for waswan, you'll find it. But it's the intention what you do, just don't just read. Like there's one person I knew, alhamdulillah, he got the jinn out of the person, he read on someone, and alhamdulillah, the jinn left. So I asked him, okay, what was your intention? What was that jinn in there for? He says, I don't know. I just read it, it went. I said, alhamdulillah, good. I said, next time you do it read for sihr, first of all, then read for ayn, read for mas, so we know what it is. Because maybe the jinn, there's some sihr left behind. Something you have to get rid of that sihr. Huh? So it's important to know what you're doing. Just don't read on somebody and just see, okay, let me read on you. I don't know what I'm reading. This is what I just read on you. And you don't know what the person's got, so you just start moving and shaking. There's something there. Okay, what is it? I don't know. No, you got to do. The only way you know is by differentiating that intention. Those intentions, you know. Yeah. So, does that answer your question, Akhi?
Actually, my question is different. I think, is there any basis in authentic sunnah of all these actions about which you are talking, or this all come from folklore?
No, it's not
from
folklore.
voodoo, from Christianity.
Sihr is real.
No, I mean about these methods.
These methods are
water, putting legs in water. Is there any basis in authentic sunnah, or this came from African and Asian folklore, basically?
No, it's not African folklore. This is
and
from
do you know
experience.
anybody, white communist, who was affected by sihr or jinn?
My mum.
Me, I had sihr.
I think what the brother's saying is,
saying.
because brothers from that part of the world.
Yeah.
So, for example, people who are atheists,
Yeah.
they don't even believe in Allah and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, but there is brothers who, there's people who've come to Islam. There's a story of a person who was a successful businessman. He had sihr, well, he didn't know it, but he became Muslim from.
Let me answer the question. There's a hadith in Bukhari where a group of people were traveling, and when they traveled, they heard that they went to an area, asked them for some food, and that area, the king, the person in charge, refused them food, refused to help them. So what happened was the king was bitten by a scorpion, and he was looking for a cure for everywhere. Nobody could find a cure for him. Nobody. So they went and asked these people who were living in the outskirts of the town, passing by, these travellers. They were Muslims, Sahaba, the Prophet. And they said, yeah, we've got a cure. They went and they read Surah Fatiha on the king, and he was cured. And then they gave him the king gave him the prize. They went back to the Rasulullah and the prize and said, we're not going to touch it until what Rasulullah decides with this. And he said he allowed them to keep it, and he approved of their actions. So you can see that they read Quran, Ruqya, on a non-Muslim there.
Yeah, Surah Al-Fatiha, and this is Sahih Hadith, but I'm talking about all this stuff. Is there any basis in Sunnah, or this came from African and Asian folklore?
This is all experience, from
experience.
This experience?
It's not Sunnah, it's nothing to do with
it's got something to do with Islam. All this stuff has got something to do with Islam. What is good? Look, for instance, I've told Ibn Baz, rahimahullah, the sidr. Everybody, if you know, you'll advise people when they got sihr, take the sidr leaves, wash with it, it's good for you to get rid of a type of sihr. Now, there's no hadith about using the sidr leaves to treat magic, but Ibn Baz, now we're going to turn around and say Ibn Baz is doing bid'ah now here. You find that people who deal with the magic and sihr and all that, they'll tell you
this is what he's saying is correct, yeah? There's a hadith which talk about Ruqya, and then there's all of people's customs, things that they used and they found it worked. And if it worked, it's considered a treatment. Like you would go to the doctors and get medicine. Do you understand? It's exactly the same thing.
Thank you. Can I just add to that? Correct me if I'm wrong, brothers, but there's a narration which suggests that everything is a ruqya as long as it doesn't have shirk. And then the ulama use this.
And the other thing is, we have to make a differentiation. What I've told you to do here, these things like the lays and the fork, it's not ruqya. If you find something which is punishing a jinn, and somebody's got a jinn inside, and put a laser on it hurts it, so you can use it. Because it itself is not ruqya. The ruqya is when you read the Quran, and I've told you how to read the Quran. See, that's something different. So we're not adding anything here. In that sense.
Just add to that, have you seen some brothers who are doing Ruqya using like a funnel in the air of a person who's got sand? Have you seen that? And spray water, have you seen that? It's quite common. These are all different methods people used and tried and practiced and found it worked. And if it worked, it becomes permissible to use, just like normal medication, like you go to a doctor and get medication from that person, from somebody.
Thank you. So just to add to the brother's earlier question, because if I'm right, you're saying, do the non-Muslims, those who don't believe, do they get affected by it?
Have you seen any? But
there is a narration, and correct me if I'm, Uthman radiallahu anhu, his wife had come to his house and she was wearing a taweez, and she had got from a Jew person. So Uthman ripped this taweez off and said, the house of Uthman has no place for shirk. And then she said, but I had an eye twitch. And when I put this taweez on, this twitching had stopped. So he explained that this was a jinn attacking you. As soon as you done shirk, it left you. Because why would the jinn want to attack someone who's already in kufr, who's already doing shirk? What need does it have?
Beautiful idea. That shows that the jinn used this method of shirk to make the person do shirk.
So
and what I've seen from looking at the kuffar and looking at them, you can see I can see looking at them, you got this jinn, that's jinn. And I can see like so I look at this.
My mom's a non-Muslim. My mom's a non-Muslim.
She's Christian.
Yeah, but
She's a non-Muslim.
I have something to
She
say.
don't believe in God, she don't believe in jinns.
She's non-Muslim. You said non-Muslim, right?
No, I mean communist atheists who don't believe in jinns.
Yeah, they're going to probably have a lot of jinns in them. Those going to have the most in them. What's going to happen? They don't believe in the Quran and stuff. We know the jinn exists. When the possession it happens, right? When I've seen the non-Muslims like this, you see, I can look at them. You see some of the reactions they give you and stuff like that. The way they look at you, some of the shaking and stuff like this. You know that there's a jinn in this person. You know.
Let's not dwell too much on one question.
Because to add something, all the stuffs here is mentioned from hadith. Water, cedar leaves, and sina leaves.
Yeah,
everything is mentioned in the hadith. That regarding to use as a treatment. But using the method You know, that maybe not the same, the Sheikh using, other Sheikh use in a different way. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "A'ridu alayya ruqakum, la ba'sa bir-ruqa." It's ma lam yakun fi shirk. As long as there is no shirk, as long as there is no shirk, using method can be different, but that
the water,
elements,
differentiate between ruqya and
all these things are mentioned in hadith, no doubt. But the method which you inquired about,
and all of them are from Sahih.
yeah,
it's many
the items that are being used. Inshallah. Okay, any more questions? Because we've got lots of questions from online radio here, yeah, from Talk Radio, from CTI Talk Radio. So we'll read some of them from here. Let's get one from the radio station, and then just let you feel that they are part of this whole session here. Okay, sorry, he's asking here, can you give dawah to the jinn if there is one after you? If there is one after you, perform Self Ruqya or on anyone else? No, I don't understand the question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, if you're doing it yourself, okay, and you find it, yeah, I don't know. This one, what I'm teaching you here is just for you to do it yourself. I'm not teaching you to go do on other people because that's something could be quite dangerous. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Exactly, okay.
What I'm saying is someone to do on themselves. So once you find that arm is shaking and stuff, then you can just give it a little bit of dawah. Don't talk too much to them. You know, like I was saying to her, what do you eat? Where do you live? How many of you in there? Stuff like that. Just give them a warning. Look, I found Allah's guided. You know, fear Allah, leave this body, embrace Islam. You know, if sihr, you're trapped in there with the sihr, then, you know, fear Allah, cool, you know, embrace Islam, and then ask Allah to help you get out of this body. Because what I'm going to do now, I'm going to read Ruqya, and I'm not going to be blamed for, if you die, I can't be blamed for this, because I've got to cure myself. So you give it that sort of a warning. Leave it like that. You don't need to know too much about it. You're giving it the warning, then you do your treatment. That's it. Basically, keep it like that.
And just on that note, there is an opinion which says we shouldn't speak at all to the jinn. Because the asr of the jinn is that they lie, so you just read until they leave. But there's this other opinion exists as well, so we're not going to get into any detail, you know.
I probably prefer that actually. You don't have to speak to them really.
They're both there. Okay, we'll take one now from here.
There's a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned about the people of Medina having snakes in their homes, and he said to
people who had snakes in their house.
Yeah, he said in Medina there's been the snakes and they're the jinns.
Yeah.
So you should tell them to leave first,
3 times.
and then afterwards kill it.
Yeah, that's 3
So
times.
should we tell them to, when they say found in our body, leave, or should we just keep reciting to
No,
burn?
it's different. That's completely different. That hadith said Bukhari, you're referring to is if you see a snake in your house, in your land, then you warn it 3 times to leave, once, twice, and if it doesn't leave, then you kill it. But if you kill it before, then it may harm you.
So that's what I meant, like the ruqya, like he said, like to keep reciting to burn it. Should we say leave first?
No, because it's not a snake as you see. You don't know what it's inside you. Well, might not be a snake. That hadith referring specifically to a snake or something, you know, strange in your house, which you see, not in yourself.
I mean, after the diagnosis, so he realized he had
There's a
something.
jinn
So
or a seher.
should we keep on reciting till it dies? Or?
Yes, you just keep going, go all the way, that's it. You don't have to give the one like you said. Just carry on doing it. Allah knows, showing you what it is, just keep reciting. If it dies, it dies. And there's some signs of death, you know, like, you know, you might lose your eyesight and memory loss, what we talked about, isn't it? So you just keep going and treating yourself, keep treating yourself, keep treating yourself. Don't worry, if they die, it dies. Alhamdulillah.
Have you experienced, you're saying that the person can control the jinn, so they can control if it manifests or push it down, not let it manifest.
Yeah.
Is it, in that case, when the person does the ruqya, if they're able to do that, Allah gives them the ability to have that strength, to recite while it manifests or recite without manifest? Because
okay, yeah, there are cases when what happens, this is what happens. Sometimes what happens, it comes up straight away, even just talking, and it just comes up. Right? And then the person probably it might be a case where somebody's trying to diagnose it, so this jinn stopped them, so they can't even go and get the water. They won't even let me get the water. So it shows that there's something there. So sometimes they won't even let you swallow the water. But if you ask Allah, Allah help me, you know, make tawbah to Allah, try to stop you, just make a quick tawbah to Allah, or cry to Allah to help you, then inshallah you'll be able to swallow it. So all is up to Allah, inshallah ta'ala, you know. If you do find that maybe it's messing you around really badly, and if power, because sometimes what they can actually do is power, like you can't even do anything. Then what you do, I've done this with one patient, you tell them, look, you can only do what you can do. You know, just like, you know, when you're paralyzed, you have to pray, isn't it? So sometimes when somebody's out, they pray just with their eyes and stuff like that. Then what you do, you can't, they've stopped your reading, just read the ruqya in your mind. Like you're showing that Allah, you're doing something, you're doing the minimum, that's the minimum you can do. And I've seen people when they do that, it releases them. It releases them.
I've seen some people experience that they can control when it comes out. So they can make it manifest or push it down. But when it manifests, sometimes they can still recite, but they struggle to do it. They struggle and they recite. Should they struggle and recite, or should they just recite when they're calm, when they're able to recite without any problems?
What they need to do there, like I said during the talk, is that what we found is that somebody, when it comes up like this and it's stopping you, there's some issues with iman. Okay, Allah doesn't burden you with a jinn you can't handle. If your iman is 50, then you're going to get a jinn which is whatever is that according to your level. You don't get ifrit in you or something like that. You want to get iman, a jinn which is at your level. So if the person corrects his iman and stops those sins and asks Allah Ta'ala, then they're able to control it. Because it's a type of humiliation when a jinn comes up like that. You know, it's a type of humiliation, you know. You know, what's this? Imagine, we can see this, imagine we've got a big sheikh here. We have a big sheikh, maybe you can't see it because we're all normal people here. Imagine one of our big sheikhs, you know, and the jinn comes out like, ha 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 ha, and he's giving the Friday khutbah, ha 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 ha. I know, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's a bit of a humiliation, isn't it? You know? So it doesn't happen, you know. With the shaykh, it never happens, really, alhamdulillah. Because of the iman, the knowledge, it just keeps it down. Or they're going to get maybe the jinn moving, shaking a little bit, and you tell them to control, they stop it. They just do ruqya, and afterwards, maybe their ruqya is only a few hours, maybe it's dead, it's gone. Because the closer you are to Allah, obviously, you know, when you're closer to Allah, Allah this is to you, the dua is, you know, is better, isn't it? So obviously, when you're closer to Allah, your ruqya is much stronger, and it just burns them. You know?
So let me just take this one question here, yeah? There's a question there, I've answered, inshallah. It says, what if you're not affected by anything but your house is? Do you perform Self Ruqya, but just on your house? And then the second part of the question, it says, what if I told you, if I don't harm the jinns that are living in my house, they actually clean my house all for me. And they said they want only peace. Only certain times they react with me. Now what I would say to that is, the first part is that, you know, you can recite Surah Al-Baqarah in the house to make the jinn leave. There's no self-Ruqya because you're not being harmed. So as you recite your general du'as in the morning and the evenings, and after the prayers, and do your prayers, your adhan, everything like that. But no in the house, we put on in the house, we do sunnah in the house, make your house an Islamic household. That way, you are protecting yourself in that house. As for, and then read Surah Al-Baqarah to remove the jinn. But it seems like the questioner is quite happy with the jinn living there. It seems like they clean the house for him. So, first number one, he's probably seeing things, jinn or something like this, which is not something which is strange. Things do happen sometimes. But the questioner must know that these are evil jinn. They are not good jinn. Allah created jinn good and bad. You know, good from a little, bad of them. These are bad jinn. Why? Even if they're seen in front of you doing good things for you, they're bad. Why? Because Allah Jalla wa'ala created humans not to interfere with the life of the jinn. And He made it haram for us to enter into the world of jinn. And likewise, He made it haram for the jinn to interfere with the life and the world of the humans. So by them coming into your home and making themselves apparent to you, then they are committing haram. So therefore, they are evil jinn. And if you become satisfied with that, and content with that, you're becoming content with something which is evil, which is wrong. And you're supposed to enjoy good, and you're supposed to forbid evil. So what you must do is do your ruqya in the house, remove this jinn, make tawbah istighfar to Allah Jalla wa'ala for being content in your heart with these jinn that are in your house, you enjoy them cleaning the house. And then inshallah after that, remove them through Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah Ta'ala alam.
You said making dua, should we make general dua or should we make dua through istikhara, and if that dua per treatment, like for ain and then for sihr, we make dua per? Yes.
What do you think? You said they want to make, you know, because that's in turn what they should do for the doing this treatment. Should they do istikhara for each diagnosis, or do just a general one at the beginning? I'm going to diagnose myself now.
Istikhara, so istikhara. Allah, the Sahaba will make istikhara for if they want to change a shoelace. So every little matter you can do istikhara. And also, istikhara, it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, 2 rakat prayer at all times. You can say istikhara after a prayer, after sunnah prayer, or just, you know, as you're walking, just make dua. But I would advise, if you feel you need to make istikhara about something, make it.
So all for do it. If you got it, do it.
His second part of his question is, does it have this in a specific dua for every kind of problems?
When you're making it, when you ask Allah to help you,
yes,
I do. We do it. You ask Allah, show me if I've got any sihr. Oh, Allah, show me if I've got any.
There are duas from this, so from every kind of problems. Sihr.
Oh, for that you mean like? Oh, okay. So you mean like in the Muslim or something like that? One of those duas.
That's what I meant was
there are specific du'as for Ayn
Oh, per treatment, yeah, per
diagnosis.
Yeah, diagnosis. You should ask
Even
Allah.
I have a specific dua. For must be what jinn, there's the other type of ruqya. For sahab and stuff, it's very similar to the mas that you have. There are specific du'as, but there are also du'as generally which you can use for all three. Yeah?
So before each time, just ask Allah to help you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Any other questions?
You know, some ruqya they are like on CD or like that listen to it. Is that, can you like just listen to it?
It's better to do it, actually do it stronger. Yeah, better to do
The question was, can you listen to a CD as a form of ruqya? Is it better to actually perform the ruqya yourself? The only time you should play a CD is if you can't read anything, which is not a very good situation, you know. You open yourself to harm, just not learning to read basic, you know, Qul Huwallahu, Fatiha, you know, and basic du'as.
Is it sufficient to place for Bakr alone in the house to rid the house of jinn?
Is it sufficient? This is a good question. Is it sufficient just to place Surah Baqarah in the house to remove the jinn, play it on a CD?
What we found is no, it's not good enough. You have to actually read it. Okay, the Surah Baqarah is too much for you. You can just read the last 2 ayahs of Baqarah every day. There's a hadith about reading that, and that will keep the jinns at hadiths in Tirmidhi. The number.
It's well known. Hadith. Last 2 ayahs of Surah Baqarah, Ayat al-Kursi, or from the beginning of Baqarah and the end of Baqarah, Surah Ayat al-Sahr in Baqarah. There's many different parts of the Quran. If you don't memorize the whole of Baqarah, you can't read the whole of Baqarah, you can read parts of it.
So if you can't read all of Baqarah in like 3 days, just do the last 2 ayahs of Baqarah to keep the jinns out of your house. You know? Yes,
if you acknowledge the power of intention, and every time you do your intention for ruqya, you see that it has an effect.
Yeah.
And when you don't do it for ruqya, it doesn't have an effect.
That's right.
So should a person have the intent for ruqya for everything, for his salah, for every time he reads Quran, because he could possibly get affected in the salah as well. So when he recites the Quran in the salah, and he makes the intention, the recitation for ruqya, he gets affected.
Well, you're going to get affected anyway. What I find is when you diagnose yourself and you find a jinn there, what you're going to find is that, you might have seen it here, some people maybe, you know, start shaking already a little bit for the, you know, for prayer or something like that. You find that maybe little shakes when they're praying, they hear their iqamah and stuff. When you start your treatment, you will start shaking. Now the jinn, you start getting affected, you start shaking. But I don't think you should mix it up with this is salah now. Do your ruqya is something separate, keep them separate. It's ruqya, and then this is for the prayer and other things that are separate as well, you know.
Yeah, there's a question there. It says, I pray my salah and I shake and my mood changes at the time of hearing the Quran. Would I need Self Ruqya, even though the specialist doctors have made it clear I suffer from epilepsy, which has changes in behavior and voice as a symptom? Do I require Self Ruqya?
Oh yes, you require. I mean, even you remember you could do ruqya even if you've got none of these things, like you've got maybe cancer or something like this, or cold. You know, we shouldn't just restrict ruqya to just these 4 things. What about, you know, when you're sick, you've got a cold, you know, before you rush to the doctors, do ruqya on yourself, you've got a cold or something. This, you know, ruqya is just not for these things. So even if it is just the medical problem which he's got, the real epilepsy which is not to do with jinns and that, then do use falaq and nas on yourself to cure yourself, you know, may Allah, you know, the intention to Allah cure you, you know. But what that person needs to do though, to make sure, it might be the epilepsy they have, it could be because of jinn. You know, it could be, you need to make sure. You know, the only way you make sure is diagnosis. You can't be in this limbo, have I got it, have I not got it. That's why it's important to have these intentions and that. So you listen, I know I've got it, yes, because of that. See?
There's a question here, sorry. What if I do self-ruqya and I know there is a jinn there, and I carry on and I end up killing a jinn? Is that possible? Is that possible? If so, will I commit a major sin of murder? what do I do to remove the jinn then without killing it?
You answer that.
This questioner is being tricked by shaitan here, by the jinn. First and foremost, what if? These are not questions we ask. You know, we ask things that really happen. And when they happen, we ask for a solution. So the jinn is obviously whispering in the person's head, telling them, what if you kill me, you're going to be committing a major sin, etc. You know? And so your job is to carry out the Ruqya Sharia, which has been legislated. And if the jinn dies as a result, you will never know anyway. So, you know, there's nothing for you to worry about. And if he dies by the permission of Allah, not by you killing it, but you murdering it, sorry. No, your job is to do Ruqya, you don't know what happens to the jinn.
Because you're not really killing, it's Allah's doing this. You're just, it's like, Ruqya is like a dua. So, oh Allah, help me, oh Allah, help. And if that dies like that, fine, it's not, you know. It's Allah who killed it, not you really.
This question is to Brother Qadir. Is it permissible, or shall I say, is it halal to charge for Ruqya treatment?
To what?
Charge for Ruqya treatment.
Charge. Is it permissible to charge for Ruqya?
Okay, there's different sort of things, okay? What I've seen from, so I'm not going to talk about those people who take money, fine. You know, if you want to take money, fine. No problem, I don't have a problem with that, because there's still evidence, right? Scholars believe that, okay? But what I've seen from experience, okay, you get much more success when you see your brother sick and crying and in pain and stuff like that, and you say, Akhi, I'm coming to help you. You read, you see, I've seen a lot more benefit in doing it like that. You know?
So
there's more blessings in it, where you don't charge, just helping the people. I mean, this is from my experience.
Yeah, so as for halal, haram, permissible to charge money.
I know where victims have been ripped off and taken
advantage
of.
Obviously, if they've been ripped off, that's haram, no doubt. If somebody's freed himself to do Ruqya and he needs an income, you know, really and truly what's supposed to happen in this situation is such Ruqya, these people are supposed to work under the state. The state provides for them and they do this work. Or the masjid, or the community, all of you get to pay their salary. And they free themselves for this for the whole community. And if we don't pay their salary, then all of us are sinful, all of us, until somebody pays their salary and somebody does his job. So unfortunately, nobody does this in this community. We all fail in our responsibility. So these people are forced to charge money now in order to provide the service, but the service is needed. But as for those people who rip people off, and, really go, no barakah will come from their work as far as I'm concerned.
I've seen also, remember, there's also some very sincere people who maybe charge money, some beautiful brothers who charge. So it's just, they're following that opinion that they can take the money, alhamdulillah, and then they're wonderful brothers, you know.
Okay. This is the last question, and then we'll break before Salat, inshallah. I think we'll call it a day, inshallah, no need for inshallah. The last question, what's the last question? Which one should I get? No, let's get from the radio station. What is it? People want to have radio. Which one? 1 minute, 25 seconds. Okay. I feel like my wife is being affected by this magic sihr or jinn, but I can't prove it. And now we live separate because it's affecting my marriage. Could this be a sign, or because maybe it's not just meant to be? It's come from Belfast, this question, in Ireland. Personally, I think I would need more details to answer this question. Is not enough information to decide whether it's a jinn breaking the marriage, or whether it's just that you are incompatible, or one party is oppressing the other, or both of you oppressing the other. There's a lot more detail needed to answer this question. Okay, so Jazakallah everyone. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika wa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Please, brothers, can you publicize CTI Talk Radio to all your friends? There's an app for the iPhones, and inshallah we'll have a lot more live talks, inshallah.